Boy, I really hope that the stream holds up today. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we don't have any weird sort of problems on stream today. Because I know the past few streams have been going very poorly, especially on the YouTube page. Hopefully it'll be running okay. I haven't really changed anything, but I didn't change anything when everything stopped working or when I started to have problems, so you're hungry already. I might have to feed you in the middle of the show, okay? Baby boy. Okay, sorry, let me get my, as long as, well, Nathan is here. Hi. Come here, Nathan. Come here, Nathan. Come here, Nathan. Come here, Nathan. Come here. Oh, yeah. Can you hear me, Quinn? Just making sure. Can you hear me? Am I audio coming out? Like, can people hear me? Hi. Okay, cool. Just making sure. Oh, boy, you are. You know, one of the reasons why every morning I wake up and all I have to do is wonder, where did Nathan throw up today? Is because he's shedding so badly. My God, this cat is just like shedding everywhere, and so hairballs abound. I woke up literally sleeping right next to a giant pile of cat hair, gross, wet cat hair, and it was very disgusting. And I swear to God, like, I have no ability to keep up with his hairballs. Like, there's hairballs everywhere. There's like more than one a day, it feels like. And it's like trying to keep up with cleaning them is just like, it feels like almost like an unaccomplishable goal. And so I'm just like, oh. And so there's a lot of just, oh God, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's so horrible. Oh, man. Well, don't worry about it, Rikamaru. We'll talk about that. Okay? We'll talk about that a little bit here. So don't be too worried about it right now. Don't be worried about it right now. I'll have some news on that. So, oh, Nathan, why do you always want to lie specifically on, not on the keyboard. Nathan, no, not on the keyboard. Why specifically the keyboard? Why do you want to lie specifically on the keyboard? I have this armrest in front, which is nice and soft, but nope, he wants to sleep on the keyboard. Because cats, that's why. Because cats, that's why. Hi, Nathan. Oh, God, Nathan, you are just knocking everything over again. Boy, oh, man. Nathan. Come on, Nathan. I'm gonna get this out of your way. Dude, you're actually right. Putting a fake keyboard out there, that's a great idea, actually. Yeah, it's getting hot over here, so, like, Nathan is just spitting everywhere. Like, I'll clean the hairball, but, like, it just leaves this unsightly stain that I have to use a very specific carpet cleaner thing that I have to clean him, and I've just been lazy, so, like, I just have all these hairball stains everywhere. It's not lazy, it's just, it's seriously, there's just too many of them. It's impossible to keep up. It's just impossible to keep up, and my ADHD and all this other stuff is just makes it so difficult. Ugh. Again, I really like that that thing that I read that basically said the difference between laziness and ADHD is that laziness, you hope somebody else does it for you so you don't have to. And ADHD is you can't get yourself to do it, but you don't want anybody else to do it. You want to do it yourself. Right. I think that's just really what it is, Quinn, is just that they like the keyboard because it's got your scent all over it, right? All right, no bunny kicks, okay, Nathan? No instinctual bunny kicks here. See how he's just like grabbing my hand? My God. What a spoiled cat. Scratch my face now. Scratch my face now. See if he does it again. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, look at him. Look at this cat, dude. Oh, man. Racing games without steering. God, there was that one Xbox Connect game, which was the greatest thing ever. Did you ever see the video? I know I've showed it on my stream because I talk about it a lot because, my God, that was just really bad. Like, it was a Connect game that was a racing game that was designed to read your hands actually, like, trying to do steering like that. And someone showed that if he literally just sat still, didn't move his arms at all, that he got second place, I think it is. So yeah, it's just it's just sad. Okay, all right, here we go. Emergent gameplay. Hey, thank you for following the channel, Agent Cody Bangs. Emergent gameplay. Emergent gameplay is what is that exactly described as? It's just that, like, people will figure out ways to play your game beyond your intention, essentially, right? Like, emergent gameplay is that the players themselves actually kind of get to dictate the way that your game is played. What's up, John the Automaton? A lot of people were actually flown out to play Invincible Versus. At least when I was there, I mean, there was a lot of people that I knew, right? Like Maximilian was there, Justin was there, you know, Sajam and Tasty Steve were there. And wait, was Tasty Steve there? He might not have been there because I know that guy's busy all the time. Sherry was there. Yeah, a lot of people I knew were there. So, man. Yeah. Oh, man. Okay. All right. Gotta get this guy to stop spitting up hairballs. It's one of two things with Nathan. Honestly, it's either waking up and finding a hairball like square on my backpack, or I wake up and I find that the food that I hid from him by wrapping in a plastic bag and shoving it into a cubby hole and blocking it was yet still found by Nathan, the bag being ripped open, and me finding all of my little mini donuts with, like, every single one of them with like a single bite in them. And I'm just like, Nathan, really? Oh my God. I mean, I will say, Quinn McGaming, I really kind of agree with you because, you know, season 3 is a lot sooner than never. So for sure, definitely brought back a little too early. So, also, I did say I was going to stream myself, you know, going over a lot of the roster change, I mean, the balance changes and going into more details from last week. And literally, I did not do that at all. But also, when I said that on Tuesday, I completely forgot that that weekend was the Classic Tetris World Championships in Pasadena. So I was not free at all this weekend because I was commentating the Classic Tetris World Championships this weekend, which was a lot of fun, which was a great time as always. And man, like, it really felt like this year kind of like achieved a new level. I don't know. It was just interesting because like every year we come into the CTWC is that we are always, you know, every year we're like, oh my God, there was this new accomplishment. Oh my God, I can't believe it. You know, oh, this person, you know, crashed the game. This person achieved rebirth. This person got a perfect max out, blah, 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 blah. But we're kind of at a point right now where, like, you know, while there are still crazy achievements to, you know, accomplish, they're starting to not be the big story now. It's finally properly shifting to just the players and their stories and their drive and their passion and their competition and stuff like that. It's getting less about like, holy crap, this game is getting broken wide open that we've been doing for like the last 7 years. And we're finally getting to a point right now where we're just like, oh, okay, Nathan. Oh my God. See, even after all that brushing, there's just hair everywhere. But we're actually getting to a point where it's just like, hang on a second, I haven't finished doing this. Also, I haven't done my socials yet. Crap, there's so much stuff to do before the stream these days. Oh man, it's so much work. Okay. Let's see here. So that's here now. And then let's do activate source over here. Well, Quinn, like, have you actually been able to feel that? Have you actually been able to feel the significant difference of Zangief's thickness? And exactly like how it affects him. It's a weird change, and like my brain still can't really process like which one is like how exactly it affects the, you know, everything here. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have had a chance to check out any of the CTWC. But CTWC is awesome. Like, honestly, if you really do have a chance to check it out, I definitely recommend it. Whoops. So let's see. Oh, that's not how you spell Tetris. Ooh, Jesus. Okay, there we go.
CTWC 2024, let me hear you all.
So let's see, how many of the videos have they put up? Probably nothing yet, yeah. So you just have to go to the live tab over here and watch a lot of the Tetris here. So, the stomps are great, dude. I love the change to the stomps, but if you have a chance one of these days, definitely check these out, because again, the way that classic NES Tetris is played these days is beyond anything
that tells you the heartwarming
that you
tale
probably
of the
would
community.
expect it to be.
Alex T still holding on to just
So, like, and let me see if I can get, like, I think I might be able to find the clip where I actually channel my inner Tasty Steve. Channel my inner Tasty Steve here. Oh, right. That one getting cut off, that sucked. But like, Jesus Christ, it happens everywhere, right? So it's just a thing, man. It's just a thing that keeps happening, and it sucks and it's annoying. Oh, that's right. I use this method over here. So let me see if I can see this here.
And next time, Scooty can come back bigger and better.
Oh,
You know,
it's
been a
really
busy year,
quiet.
so,
Holy crap.
You know, depending on how things are, you know, pan out.
Right.
And,
Do we know what the absolute perfect high score is if you just got Tetris all the way to in his facial expressions? You know, after he wins, there's just he is. Oh, this is not the one that I wanted to find. This is the one I wanted to find. Let me see if I can find it.
in.
And hope you guys are enjoying and screaming in your houses as well. Let's see.
That's important.
Yeah, but it's going to be phenomenal, of course. You know, how have you guys enjoyed CTWC this weekend?
Come on. WC weekend! How have you guys been enjoying this CTWC weekend? Yeah! I'm trying to channel you guys streaming in the world here. Get people hyped up.
Thank you, Jay.
Let me see. When the match starts, let me see. I think it was just nice to let the audience see the grand finals of the match. Get personified in. Gotta give him a little bit of time to warm up. Oh God!
I hope he asks, what are your aims going to be able to get?
Right? There's a lot on the line.
Those years where we're going to remember it because the compatible performance.
There's that one SpongeBob. Then I caught on. Gosh.
What a great weekend this has been. Earlier grand finals. So let's throw it once more.
Countdown for our finals match. So let me get them introduced here first.
Oh, he's still oh, that's right. The Japanese commentary team got Hank Rogers up here.
Gosh, how many years?
You know, the guy, if you watch that Tetris movie on Apple TV, you know, who basically had to race through the airport and avoid the Russian mobs.
Contribution to Tetris. So whenever I hear everybody in the crowd yelling Tetris,
this was this past weekend, Dan FNP.
Hank, and for your countdown main event, let's get it counting down. Everyone, come close to me. Come close to me. Okay. Let's do it. Let's get a nice round circle. Are we ready? Nice big. 3, 2, 1, Tetris!
This is the grand finals. You see me clapping down there.
And here we go, the first round of grand finals. Meme versus Alex Thatch.
And I remember the year that Alex going on, so it's just great to see all. Is now at 20. For the donations, we see shall be satisfied with a. Wow, thank you, shall be satisfied. I'm trying to see where NES Tetris here. I thought
Try to earn scores up a long bar, and then through that.
And Tetris is. I swear I channeled my Tasty Steve around here somewhere, but
it's this
I guess not.
In the pushing numbers, and that indicates
maybe
how
it
long
was
it's
in
been since the
between
last eyepiece.
first and second
so these
game or
players are not
something
only
like
having to
that.
fight
I don't
against,
remember.
Really strict drop behavior.
Tetris fighting soul, but I definitely said, like, you know, anybody out there who's rooting for, you know, Alex T, make some noise. You know, I definitely borrowed from the books of Tasty Steve to help try to get some you know, get the crowd excited and loud and everything. So, you know, like literally I was like, I need to get the crowd hype and excited. And literally I was just like, wait, what would Steve do? I literally asked that to myself. I was like, what would Steve do? And then I just immediately just went into the Tasty Steve. And yeah, I mean, I thought it went pretty well. So, did I do it in front of Eyeball and Meme? Because they both had loud contingents here. Let me see. I can't remember now how to get that one
back. It's
1 Tetris.
Smart clears. It's
Yes, fine.
Eyeball up to
Oh,
God, I gotta find it one of these days.
meme at 69%.
One of the things that I can probably do is just like try to look through the video and look through the audio and see like which where it gets loud or something like that. But I mean, again, you know, if you guys haven't seen just how absolutely insane this Tetris actually gets, like, where's a good example of this? Let's just start over here. Like, this is, yeah, okay. So, like, if you guys have not seen, and again, this is not the same as, you know, modern Tetris is. Modern Tetris is very different. In NES Tetris, as soon as the pieces touch down, they're down. That's it. They're stuck. You can't move them at all. There's only one preview. There's no hold whatsoever. There's no cool wall kicks and stuff like that, you know, where pieces will move over. And even if you hold the controller, it just goes across. So they have to learn the rolling technique just to make the pieces go faster.
These players is playing.
And so, like, this is the level 19 through 29
watch
speed
carefully how they
here.
handle
And
approaching
again,
29,
as soon as the
because
pizzas
they wanna have
touch
their boards
down,
in good
they're
position.
down.
That's when
Like,
the real
you
fight
don't get
happens.
to move the piece
I think that's
again
what's gonna be the
after
most
that.
interesting, because what these two players have shown us this tournament is that
And so,
29
you
is
know,
what
these
makes
guys have
them
to be
definitely
super
more
fast
scary
to
than
be
they
able to
already
do
are.
this.
Yeah.
And you can see, as soon as this reaches level
that.
29,
Another one of these,
that's when things are going
large
to go
columns that-
absolutely
Both
insane.
of these
So,
players
Alex creating over there.
earlier in the tournament were able to devastate their opponents.
so there it is.
by
That's level 29
29.
speed for
What will they
Blue
do to each
Scooty.
other?
Max is for both players as both players head into 29. Alex T down by Tetris.
I mean-
Scooty also, wow.
Like I said, if you
Tetris right
if you
here.
think
Tetris
this
for
is
both.
modern Tetris, you're like, well, I can play at the higher speeds. But I mean, this is like that, right? Like the pieces just touch down. Nothing Scooty could do at that point. As soon as they hit the ground, that's it. You're done.
Kind of start flattening up your board as much.
Wow! See, there's that frame.
And look at him getting through
That
this,
is
dude. It's
ridiculous.
crazy. Uh-oh.
But things are still. Oh no, those O's are terrible.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's it.
And
He
not
can't
able to
survive
really do
anything
anything.
past
Scooty's
that.
gonna
So.
top out at 1.15. Alex C is good.
And again, like what these players have been able to accomplish here in 2025 is crazy. Like it's beyond anything that they ever would have guessed is possible. Like if you talk to all the top Tetris players, you know, back in the Jonas era, RIP to Jonas, before Joseph came and started the influx of a bunch of the young players. And yes, those two players are both like I think it was like 16 might be the oldest one between the two. But if you actually, you know what the technique is that they're using, the fact that they can survive on, so level 29 that you just saw those speeds there used to be referred to as the kill screen because literally you couldn't survive. Like as soon as level 29 started, you know, with the old techniques that people used, you might be able to get to level 29 in like 3 lines, 4 lines if you're kind of like lucky, or even maybe like I think the record for the oldest technique might have been like level 30 or something. But with the techniques that they use today, it's literally possible to live forever, which is why the player on the left that you saw, Scooty, is the kid that beat Tetris. Like there was a big hullabaloo when he beat Tetris because he just never died and then reached a point where the game crashed. So now the thing about the crash though is it's not guaranteed when it's gonna crash. It's just that after a certain level, certain conditions have to be met, and then it just crashes. And so you just keep playing, and you'll even see the video where Scooty accomplishes this. He's just like, please crash, and then it crashes, and he's like, oh my god, you know. And so he actually ended up being the first kid to crash the game, and so he ended up on all these talk shows. They're making a documentary about him, which is debuting this week in New York, the Tribeca Film Festival. Right now, and then Dog Plays Tetris, who was in this tournament earlier. Dog. So there are versions of the game online, emulators, etc., where they've hacked it so that the crashes don't happen. And if the crashes don't happen, you can literally play the game almost forever, because after level 29, the speed never changes. Or does it? Basically, let me see. Let me see if I can find the video over here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so this is Dog playing Tetris over here. Once I get past the ads for Brave New World. So, yeah, look at this. So basically, Dog starts at level 29 over here.
Bar? Getting a little bit high, no?
So he's starting at level 19 here. And look at this. 2 hours and 3 minutes. Yeah, this is the NES version. And so he is playing, look at this. Like, he is just playing this. Like you can see, like I said, this is a special hacked version, because normally when it gets to like 136 or whatever, like the level numbers start messing up. But towards later on, you can see the colors start screwing up. If you've ever played NES Tetris, you've never seen these colors before, because literally the game, yeah, look at this. Look at all the whacked out colors that you get through all the different modes over here as you keep getting farther and farther, because the game was never programmed to actually reach these levels. And so you start getting these completely whacked out colors. And one of them is like the death color, which might be this one, or there's one set of colors that is just so incredibly dark that sometimes you can't even see the pieces anymore. You know, like it just, the game just starts glitching out, as you can see here. But like I said, he essentially can play forever now. This was not a thing that was possible in the past. Nobody believed that this was even a thing that can happen. And so like he's an hour into this, and then I think, yeah, this is the one. So at some point in time, you get so far, yeah, here it is. So you get so far, and I don't know what level it is here. Right here. So level 235. Right? Let me see if he talks about it here. Yeah.
Yeah. 235, bro.
Yeah. So he highlights this as significant because it turns into this really horrible color, but it kind of gets a little bit messed up so badly that it stays that way for, I mean, look, 235. It's still on level 235. It's just stuck this way, and he's playing this way for like hours, right? I mean, for like, okay, not hours, obviously, but for like, you know, almost 20 minutes, he's stuck on this really annoying color. And then finally, after, like, it says lines U96, U99, and then finally gets to normal over here.
I will see the light, bro.
And then he keeps playing.
Mint, thank you for the
Oh, okay, so he actually got to the rebirth sooner than that. Okay. So this whole video isn't just the rebirth here. So I don't remember. Oh, he's at level 251, which means he should be right there. I think he gets to level 256.
10, 11, 12. Oh my god, I actually thought I was gonna end at 254. I just messed it up. All the ore is gone now. It's all gone. It's all gone.
Yeah, and there's like criteria that you have to set up to make it work or something.
Gone, oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
And there it is.
Oh my god! Oh my god, Ash got rebirth. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Which they call it rebirth because it literally drops you back to level 0. Everything is at level 0 speed. And I think he just kept going. Yeah, as you can see, he just kept playing afterwards, and then finally just crashed out, and he just gave up, basically.
And thank you, Tackners, also for the 341.
So yeah, I mean, he played that game for about an hour and 20 minutes at a speed that used to not be playable in NES Tetris. So Sarumanu, the reason why so many kids got into this was because one kid got into it. So Jonas was the 7-time CTWC champion who had won 7 out of 8 years. And in the 9th year, a kid named Joseph Saelee just showed up and was like, hey, I fell in love watching this because some of the viral videos out there, whatever. And he came in and was using a technique called hypertapping that was previously only used by a couple of other players. But Joseph was so good at the hypertapping that he was able to play at higher levels than most people could. And what's hypertapping? It's literally just I hit left or I hit right faster than the in-game DAS. And so the original method that Jonas won with is called DAS, right? Because it's like delayed auto shift, I think it is when you hit right, it goes beep, 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 like that, kind of like when you hold a key on your keyboard, right? And so most players had just been using DAS up until that point, and then Joseph came along, and he was like, what, like 15 at the time, or maybe even younger, I don't remember, but he ended up beating Jonas. And so it was just like, oh my God, this young upstart from nowhere ends up beating Jonas. And that video of Jonas versus Joseph went so viral. I mean, when I tell you how viral this video has gone, it is ridiculous. And yes, I was commentating this match. So I was on the call for this video, and I know I've brought it up here before in the past here. But last year when I talked about this video, it had, if I'm not mistaken, it had 18 million views. And so in the last 2 years, it's up to 20 million views. So this video, even that took place in 2018, even got another 2 million views in the last year. So yeah, this was only my second year commentating CTWC. And, you know, a lot of people have actually told me that they feel like one of the reasons why this video went so viral is because that my commentary was really, really good on this. So, you know, I've always been really happy about that and very proud of that distinction. Yeah, so this went super viral, super viral. And as a result, all these young kids were like, holy crap. Hey, if this kid, Joseph, 16 years old, can do this, so can I. And so because of Joseph, he just spurred on this huge influx of younger people, younger players. Suddenly, all the top players were tappers, hyper tappers like Joseph, and they were all young. Because also hypertapping is not easy for older people because just dexterity and stuff. And also just some people can't hypertap at all. You just have to learn how to press fast and, you know, required like weird hand positions and stuff like that. And so hypertapping was able to let people live, like if they just played well, hypertappers were starting to reach, you know, to survive the kill screen. So level 29 was the kill screen, and some of the hyper tappers would get up to level 33, and it was like, oh my God. And then like, I think a hyper tapper got up to like level 36, and the people were like, holy crap. And then a player named Cheese kind of shook the whole thing up, right? So what I believe probably happened was that, Cheese is a hyper tapper. And he ended up developing a technique to use with the NES controller called rolling. And what is this rolling, you ask? Right. See, that's the thing. Is like, even Joseph was like, I don't know how much longer I can do this because his hands started to hurt from hyper tapping, you know, because you have to use your right hand to hyper tap this if you're right-handed. So a lot of times some players would learn to play with the controller upside down, so that left was right and right was left, and you had to like tense this hand up in a certain way and blah blah blah. And so, you know, Jonas, before he passed, had a video where he talked about talked with like another classic gamer, and they were talking about track and field. And track and field has a method where you use multiple fingers on a single button like this, right? So you can go like if you're hitting one button, you can roll your finger down like this, and you'll hit it 3 times, right? It's very nice for the button, but the D-pad on the NES is really terrible. Very, very terrible. And so you can't roll on this thing. Like, it just doesn't work. So no one's been able to do that. So this is why NES Tetris, the CTWC, always had a restriction on the controller. You can't use anything except for the NES controller, because anything else would be cheating, right? But the player cheese at one point, and like I said, it was probably something that he just started doing by accident, and it started to work. So the technique of rolling essentially is the idea of rolling your finger to hit left and right as fast as possible. But again, this D-pad is awful, so rolling doesn't really work on this thing. And so what Cheese came up with was, what if I change the way it works and I just put my hand so that it's barely not pushing the D-pad down, and I roll the controller. What if I do this? Right? And so what he ended up doing, I think the NES dog bone is allowed. The NES dog bone is allowed as well. But yeah, I think the D-pad was not very good there either. But yeah, so he discovered this technique called rolling, in which you have to learn, and again, this is not easy for anyone who's tried to learn rolling. This takes a lot of practice to gain the muscle memory of just to put enough tension on the D-pad to not press the D-pad, but to still trigger when you actually flick the back of the controller. And so what happened was they could move the piece side to side. I think they either have to be OEM or at least reasonable replicas, or I'm not 100% sure what that rule was, because someone did create a controller called the Goofy Foot, which literally you played an NES pad upside down, and left and right are the correct directions for people to actually, you know, use the D-pad with the right hand. But yeah, this technique called rolling became so effective and people got so good at it, because remember, except for moving pieces to the left, the farthest you ever want to move a piece in NES Tetris is 0 to 4 columns, right? And so if you had 4 fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4, you would roll it in a certain speed, and that would be 4. And if you only wanted to move it 3, you would use 3 fingers. If you only wanted to move it 2, use the 2 fingers. And if you only wanted to roll it once, I don't know what they do, if they hit it like this, or if they just press it with their finger like this. But that's what they do. So they do this now on the controller, and what that's done is it has allowed them to move the NES piece at lightning speed. Faster than any other technique, faster than hypertapping, faster than the internal DAS, etc., etc. Yeah, it's kind of like plinking in a way. And so once you learn that technique really well, it's actually just broken the game wide open. Again, when it got to level 29, it never got any faster because it didn't need to, right? Like, nobody could survive that. And when rolling was discovered and people started using it the first year at the CTWC, like, we were like, how do we control this? Do we set a level limit? Do we ban it? Or what do we do? And you know, all the people in charge were like, we can't do anything. We just have to run with it and see what happens. And sure enough, the worst that was expected happened, in which in grand finals between Eric ICX and Fractal, like, both of them just basically couldn't die. once they got to level 29, and so matches lasted, like one of the matches I think was like 30 minutes long. Because like one of them was even faster, and when he topped out, the other guy had to like catch up. But because he could survive forever, there was no reason for him to go for Tetrises, so he was just going single, 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 single. So to try to catch up, like he is just literally scoring as little points as possible. Yeah, he basically was laming it out. Exactly. Right, it's not cheating. It's not cheating at all. So what happened then is that after that year, they were like, well, we can't really have this happen again. And we've already been using basically hacked ROMs of the game. Don't tell anybody. Or modded versions, I should say. The reason being for being able to enter in a random seed number to guarantee that both players got the same pieces. Because it was too common that, you know, if you played two different games with two different sets of pieces, one of them is just going to murder the other guy, and then the other one is just like, oh my god, all the pieces are great. And so the only way to make it fair was to make it so that you have to play with the same pieces. And so we used the altered version where you could enter a seed number, and if both people entered the seed number the same, they got the same pieces. And so what they did then, so in at kill screen speed, the blocks drop literally one row per frame, right? So it's just like, so it's super fast. It never got faster than that. So they had to create the super kill screen at level 39, which now has all the pieces drop 2 frames, 2 rows every frame. And so now that is truly unsurvivable, even with rolling. And so what that does then is it brought the game back to how it should be played, which is about Tetris efficiency, Tetris rate, you know, trying to score as many points, chase downs, et cetera, and having essentially a time limit, right? Because if you're chasing somebody down and you're at level 37, you know you have to score as many Tetrises as possible. Otherwise, you can't catch up because level 39 comes around, you die, which is what level 29 used to do. So we were able to replicate how the matches used to go with level 20, with a new existence of level 39. And so that's where CTWC is now. And honestly, like, this game is just, like, it's just basically broken wide open. And in fact, I think we had a couple of matches where both players reached level 39 and one of them just couldn't catch up and score. And that was the end, right? Like, that was it. But that's how good these players are, is that 2 players reach level 39. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But like I said, the interesting thing is that in the past few years, it was always, oh my god, Blue Scooty crashed the game. Oh my god, like this happened. Oh my god, we had this new record broken. And this year, you know, rolling had been around for a few years now, and all these records were broken, that the narrative of what rolling has done to the game has honestly finally started to get kind of old. And also, like, it just wasn't the story anymore, right? It wasn't the story because we've all been rolling for so long, and most players are rollers now. So once it got to that point, it really just kind of shifted it to the point where all the players, like, it really started emphasizing the players a lot more. So it became more about their story and their rivalries and what this person has gone through, et cetera, et cetera. And you just saw so much more emotion this year. Like, this is one of the nicest competitive esports I've ever seen, where everyone just hugs each other and everyone's having a great time. When someone loses, they just get up and kind of laugh, and everybody's friends. And it's because they're not competing directly, right? You're just literally trying to outscore each other. So it's hard to feel like your opponent is like beating you up or whatever like that. But even having said that, like, there were some players that lost. Dog, for example, Dog, who has gotten in the top 4 5 years in a row, missed out on top 8 this year. He actually ended up tied in 9th place. So after getting to top 4 and winning twice, 2 times in a row, he won 2 years, then got into top 4 the next like 3 years. And so this year was the first time he didn't make top 8. I mean, he was, like after he lost, like he was in tears, you know, he was crying, and the person that beat him was just like trying to console him and like giving him hugs and all this stuff like that. But the emotions were running high at this event, and I really felt like it was a lot because it's just like it was a different feel at the event, and it was cool. Like I was glad that the storylines now were just about like the players. Like when Blue Scooty was playing, it's like, oh my God, he's got a documentary made about him. So now it's just like, shoot, like I have to live up to this kind of thing, you know, and it's crazy. END, my greatest personal achievement in NES Tetris doesn't exist. My greatest achievement is getting my name into Nintendo Power a long time ago, before I knew you could start at levels higher than, or before I realized you could start at levels higher than level 1 to get higher scores. I submitted my score starting from level 1. I got in the magazine, I'm at the bottom, and I was like, how did these people get a better score than me? And then at one point I was like, I could start at higher levels, couldn't I? So that's my greatest personal achievement on NES Tetris, but like I can't even come close to maxing out because the original method of DAS, the second method of hypertapping, and the third method of rolling are all incredibly hard to learn. Like they all take a lot of practice, and I'm never gonna be able to do hypertapping. I tried to learn DAS, but it's just too much. Like I didn't want to put the effort into learning DAS, because after I tried, I was like, no, I don't have the time for this, right? Because it just requires so much practice to learn DAS. And then, and the reason why it takes so much practice to learn DAS is because you're using the in-game beep, 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 beep. But the one thing that you'll notice is that if you hold right on the controller, the first one goes beep, 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 beep. And then as soon as that one drops, the next piece comes in, goes beep, 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 and then drops, beep, beep, and drops, right? So weirdly enough, like you can maintain DAS in between pieces, but you don't always want to put it on the side, right? So what you would learn to do is you would hold the controller until it gets to where you want it to go, and you would let go. But it's going, so you had to let go at the precise column that you wanted the piece to stop, and let go, and it would drop. And as soon as it touched down, as long as you hit left or right before the next piece spawned, which is boom, here's the next piece. So like you have like this tiny window to hold left and right, and the next piece will come in with the DAS still maintained. If you mess up at any point, like you go, oops, one too far, and you hit left to adjust it, you've lost DAS. So the next piece that comes in, you have to go beep, 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 beep. And in DAS, if that ever happens to you, it basically can just kill you. So you had to learn perfect play in DAS, like let go, let go, let go, let go, and like there was some ways to regain DAS and all these other things, but like it's just really hard. It requires a lot of practice and is literally like frame perfect timings constantly to play at a very suboptimal way. So I was just like, I'm not gonna bother. So really my only choice is to learn rolling, which I don't want to really do. So my idea is eventually, I don't have it right now. I want to get my snack box and get an NES converter on it and just see if I can max out using rolling on a hitbox or snack box. For the reasons that I just want to see if my strategy is in place. And because rolling has kind of eliminated the limitations of an NES pad, there's absolutely no reason to say that maxing out with any other controller is invalid, right? Obviously, if I maxed out with a snack box or something, I wouldn't be like, I've officially maxed out until the community accepts that. But I just want to know if I can do it strategically. That's it, basically. Oh, God, you're right. I haven't finished doing the socials yet. Oh, God. All right, let me do this here. Shoot. I just started talking about CTWC and I forgot. So we haven't started anything official yet here. So let's do this. For you, it was Tuesday. We started an hour ago, but I got caught up talking about CTWC this past weekend. Lol. But join now where I'll talk about Invincible versus hands-on. Tag fighters. God, and season, Jesus. And SF6's season 3 roster. I want to be snarky so bad, but like, like I just want to write down. I want to talk about season 3's 3 announced characters. You know, it's just like, oh man. Oh man. Okay, so here we go. Go back home, get the stream link up here. Oops, that didn't work. That's weird. I gotta figure out why that happens sometimes. Let's try again, shall we? There it is. I just have to make sure I don't move the mouse or something like that, I think. Ugh. I'll have to figure out how to fix that some point in time. Okay, so there we go. Let's actually go over here and come over here. Oops, go, no, nope. This is what I'm looking for. There we go. All right. So there we go. The social, that one is posted on Twitter. Let's go to Blue Sky and post over there. God, there's so many things to freaking do just to get a show ready these days. I swear, it like takes so much work. I need to figure out a way to automate a lot of this, because it's just like, I was hoping combining all the streams together would make it easier, blah, 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 and it did, but then it just got more complicated in other ways because, so it like takes me forever to get any of these streams started with all these things going on. Like, I gotta go here, I gotta go there, you know, and it's just like, oh. Here we go. This is where I'm trying to go. Upcoming streams. Add here, paste like that. And then edit. And then paste the links myself. Like so. Hi, Nathan. Hi. What made you think it was I was done with my stream? Oh, no, I'm not done with the stream yet, Nathan. Still a long way to go. I'll feed you, though. I'll feed you in a little bit. Okay, so I got that up there. Hi. Hi, buddy. I did stop uploading the podcast to Spotify Digital Arkham, not for any other reason than I started falling behind, and then all this technical stuff came up that I wanted to do, and I just never reassumed doing it, and so resumed doing it. Resumed doing it. I just haven't resumed doing it yet because it's currently not in my like brain of like, this is something you have to do. So I just keep forgetting. I want to throw them all back up there, but I just haven't yet. So I want to. That's the best thing I can say, is that I want to, but I just haven't yet. So I apologize about that. So okay, here we go. Hi, Nathan. Hi, Nathan. You are just rubbing on my arm all day. Hi. 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 Oh, God, I really do hate how annoying a lot of these programs just work different. So I have to do like 17,000 different things to make stuff work. And like, I just can't do like one easy thing for all of them. What am I looking for here? That's right. I'm trying to go over here and find this, post this up, post this. There we go. Hey, thank you for the sub. Thank you for the sub, Pony. Appreciate it. And thank you, Best of 5 show, for the resub. Hope you guys are doing well. Oh, that's amazing. On modern fighting games, yeah. Oh, well, I mean, it's not a criticism necessarily. It's pointing out that modern games are developed with a different mindset, that they're more mind-based than heart-based. And again, there's nothing wrong with being mind-based. It's just that for players who are accustomed to heart games, it's difficult for them to, feel comfortable with a lot of the modern games. And I want that distinction between heart and mind games to come up, so that way when people actually talk about it, they can talk about it intelligently instead of just saying, "Oh, Street Fighter 6 sucks." Right? Now they can be like, well, see, Street Fighter 6 is one of those games where you have to study more, right? And those games aren't as easy for me. I like games where I can just make the decisions that feel right. And, that doesn't work in Street Fighter 6. So it doesn't appeal to me in the same way that old games, like, if people could actually talk about it that way, I think we could get into much better conversation instead of, I don't think this game is fun, it sucks. Like, I do not enjoy, therefore equals sucks, right? Like, I hate that conversation, and I don't want that conversation anymore. So I'm trying to move the conversation forward to discussing fighting games in a more nuanced and intelligent way, honestly. Let's see here. Okay, I did all that. But yeah, so NES Tetris is definitely in a very interesting space. The CTW is awesome, but, and herein lies the problem with CTWC, is that if you thought the FGC was broke, oh boy, like, I'm happy CTWC is now in Pasadena because I don't have to buy a plane ticket and rent my own hotel room. I could just drive there from home because, yeah, doing CTWC was never a paid gig. It's still not really a paid gig right now. It's still most of us just doing it voluntarily because that's just the way it works, right? Like, they're not making a crap load of, Nathan, stop. They're not making a crap load of money, They're not making a crap load of money, so what are they going to do? They can't really pay anybody. And one of the reasons why they're not making a lot of money is the fact that they're not selling anything. How do you sell NES Tetris? You can't. Like, oh, you should come play NES Tetris with the rest of us. How do I do that? Use emulators, find old consoles, and find controllers that don't exist anymore so you can play with us, and so the Tetris company, like, what's their impetus for trying to support it, right? They'll do it because they love it. As you saw, Hank Rogers was there, but they're not, like, dumping in millions of dollars into the pot because CTWC isn't making any money for anybody. So, it's just a tough situation that way. So, I mean, like, people will ask me, like, oh, how much did you get paid for CTWC? I was like, well, I bought food and I paid for parking 3 days in a row, so negative, negative however much. Like, that's just how it is, right? But again, I'm not mad about that because I understand, because I was part of the FGC when it was like this, right? And so you know, I've talked to the guy running it a lot about things that we might be able to do in the future to try to grow the, grow to the point where we can maybe perhaps actually start getting more sponsors and stuff, because that's what it has to be now, is that enough eyes have to get on the event that the sponsors, non-endemic sponsors, just start sponsoring. But we're not even remotely close there on the live streams or anything like that. On YouTube, maybe, but on the live streams, we're like not really getting much at all. And again, this is not me condemning anybody who's running CTWC. I'm not like, these bastards aren't paying me money, riot, boycott. No, because we're all doing it out of the love, right? We love the game. It's what we did in the fighting game community at first, et cetera, et cetera. So we just have to figure out a way to have that happen. And unfortunately, the answer to that question every time is almost always, well, we have to start doing some stuff that we might not be comfortable with, right? And so the one thing that I've been pushing for a long time now is getting rid of the controller requirement, letting people use whatever controllers they want. And so, okay, so we'll just buy a hitbox and we'll just go with that, right? Because rolling on hitbox not going to be any different than rolling on the NES pad. And not only does that make it a lot easier for people to find controllers and get into it, but it also saves everybody's hands because rolling can really hurt your hands. There's a potential for carpal tunnel on these things, right? Some players have even talked about how it can actually kind of hurt their hands a little bit to have to hold your hand at this specific tension, et cetera, et cetera. So it is one of those things that you do have to be careful of, right? And so I keep saying we need to go to, open it to any controllers, and then, we have to start bringing in a bunch of other puzzle games because, for example, as I was saying to a lot of the other guys there, Luminous Arise was announced at the PlayStation State of Play. And if you guys don't know, Luminous is a puzzle game made by the same people who did Tetris Effect. Luminous originally started on the PSP. Wonderful, wonderful game. I'm sure the game has a versus mode, but how much effort do you think they put into that versus mode? Probably none. And so, if you actually start growing a PGC, which emphasizes versus mode in a lot of these puzzle games, and then these games are like, well, crap, we want to be in the PGC. We want to be at CTWC. We want Luminous at CTWC because CTWC gives good eyes on games. Well, they'll sit down and develop a better two-player game. And then we have a new game that, maybe the developers can put some money into the prize pool and sponsor and help and everything like that, right? And that's what we have to look at right now. We have to look at expanding it to a bunch of different games. And again, like I said, it always is trying to go somewhere uncomfortable that people didn't want. And in the FGC, the biggest example of that was moving to consoles. Because when we moved to consoles, man, boy, you do not know how angry the community was. Everybody was like, going to consoles? Okay, Evo is no longer legit. Evo is garbage, blah, 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 blah. Now nothing in the, everybody was so angry about it. And when you talk to Tom and Tony were like, look, we have to move to consoles because if we don't move to consoles, we can't grow because we're not selling anything. Right? That was kind of that concept. We're not selling anything, and so nothing will ever want to support this. Nothing will ever. No company will ever support this event. So we got to go consoles, and so the community revolted. All the Third Strike players were like, "Screw you guys," because Third Strike players believe that nothing is ever good enough except for arcade, etc., etc. So it's just, it's crazy. It's actually kind of crazy. But they did it, and nowadays everyone's like, well, yeah, console. And, it was the smartest thing Tom and Tony have done, honestly, for Evo. And at first, everybody hated it, but, now we all see that they had the vision early on, because that's just that's just where everything was going. So like they knew it and they got ahead of it, right? And one of the hardest things about classic Tetris is that there is a lot of, it's very Tekken-like in a lot of ways, in which a lot of the people who do play classic Tetris don't want to see it changed at all. Like, oh, I don't want to do, like, it's tradition. This is this is time tradition, like, that's cool, but like, you'll never grow that way, right? And so, yeah, you do have to look at some uncomfortable things that you might, oops, sorry, Jasmine, I just smacked her in the head. I didn't even see she was there. You have to start, doing things that may make you feel uncomfortable, but will help the scene grow, honestly. So, okay. Let's see, look at the first topic. I watched a decent YouTube video about Ingrid. No, I don't care. I really don't care. I really don't care. So, anyways, yeah. It's just one of those things. It's just a lot of traditions, and they had to learn rolling or hyper tapping or DAS. Why should we open the controllers up so everybody else can do what we did so easily, where we had to spend all this time practicing? There's a lot of that. However, because the event is starting to be dominated by a lot of children and a lot of the kids, teenagers, I'll say, and a lot of the teenagers who are in the scene now, a lot of them started with hyper tapping and had to learn rolling to stay competitive. They've already gone through a change, so I don't know if they would be as angry about it, right? So, Jasmine, you're standing above my coaster. Okay. But that's how it works. So, but anyways, I've been talking an hour about the CTWC. So, yeah, it's an interesting question. And the hardest part about it is that even though I've been commentating for 9 years right now, I still feel like I'm kind of an outsider. And if I'm an outsider and I'm like, hey, we should do this, for example, in the fighting game community, like people are going to look at me like, you don't know, James. You're not actually a pure NES Tetris guy. You're trying to ruin, like there is potential for a lot of that to happen. And so like, I don't feel like I can just go up to anybody and be like, look, this is what we probably should do. Because like I said, I still feel like I'd be a little outside. So Luminous is great. And Luminous is one of those games that like was one of the first real games that I played, and I was like, I'm pretty good at this. And then I watched a YouTube video and I was like, I am horrible at this game. And I'm looking forward to the new one because I'd like to actually learn how to do that strategy. So it's really good. So yeah, so my recommendation would be bringing other Tetris games along with other puzzle games. I mean, we did do a TGM 4 exhibition, but again, the TGM 4 versus mode is nothing special, right? And it's not designed for viewers. Like, while you watch TGM4 at the highest levels, it's amazing. You can't process it, right? Like the clips that I just showed you of them actually doing like the fastest levels of Tetris these days. If I go back and show, for example, this clip here,
and this is where you just kind of start flattening.
There's
up your
something
board as much
like
as
it's fast and super hard, but it's also discernible,
That is
right? Like you
ridiculous.
watch this and you're like,
But
this
things
is
are still.
pretty
Oh
sick.
no, those O's
Like
are
you can
terrible.
watch this and be like,
And not able to really do anything. Scooty is gonna top out at 1 point.
you could actually watch this and just be like, whoa, like that's crazy. These guys are ridiculous, and stuff like that. But, if I go to, for example, let's see here. So this is the first day here, yeah. We ended, so we ended here with Tetris the Grandmaster 4, right? And so if I go back to the start of this match over here, for example, like this, like it's, again, you're just like, oh my God, this is so amazing. But like a lot of the times it's like so fast that you can't really process what the heck is going on, right? Like you're just like, wait, like if you look at Eric ICX's side over there, like it's really hard. And so there is a little bit of a disconnect for the viewer that they're not sure exactly what's happening, right? So they're just like, okay, cool. Yeah, these guys are amazing. And I'll just accept that, right? And that's the end of that because like Green Tea is one of the greatest Tetris players on the planet here. And so we actually have Green Tea playing over here. Yeah, so this is Green Tea over here. And so you just see like, it's just so fast, right? Like, okay, Green Tea messed up. And then like, you can see, it's just like all of a sudden like, oh, it's clear. Okay, oh wait, what just happened? Wait, what just happened? Like, it's really kind of hard to see in a lot of ways. Yeah, Tetrio is the worst, right? Because Tetrio is designed to be as fast as humanly possible, so line clear delay doesn't even exist. Like, as soon as you drop the piece, in one frame, the lines disappear and the next piece is on the screen. So if you actually watch, like, let's see if I can find a Tetrio stream over here. Like, if you actually, yeah, so Doremi is one of the best players out there. Like it's just like, what is even the hell going on over here? Right? Like, it's just crazy. So it's tough, right? And these are the things that, you know, these developers, where's my mouse? There it is. These are things that the developers aren't taking into account. And I've talked about this before in that when we develop games that we want to be played competitively and have people watch, we have to take into account the viewers now. And if you are not designing the game so that viewers can process what's happening, it makes the game uninteresting to watch. And so if the PGC, if we can't create like a PGC where all of a sudden these are all things that they have to think about when making the game, one, actually making a balanced versus mode, and two, trying to make sure that it's processable by other people to see what actually is happening, like this, that is a concern, basically. So, I have the thing where if I hit control, it shows me where the mouse is. I don't have the mouse trails. The reason why I lose my mouse is because I'm literally on 5 monitors, okay? My mouse can get stuck on one of 5 monitors right now, and it's very, very confusing as a result. So, but yeah, that's kind of where that scene is at right now. Like, it can stay how it is. It'll never get bigger. No one will ever really get paid for it. Or we have to grow, do some things we're uncomfortable with that may feel anti-tradition and such, but that's kind of what you have to do sometimes. Making it negative color, I didn't even know that was an option. That actually sounds kind of fascinating, actually, like less intrusive than the trails for sure. Where even is that? Oh, adjust mouse and cursor size. Ah, I see. Ah, yes, the inverted colors. Ooh, interesting. All right. Oh God, it's so weird looking. I don't know if that will actually help me find the mouse. Crap, I'm gonna change it back to the default over here, so. Oh, I can change the color to what I want it to be. Whoa, there's all sorts of craziness going on over here. Okay, I'll experiment with this later. This is what happens with ADHD. You get distracted. So, all right, let's move on. I do think that this post is kind of funny that I saw retweeted from Juicebox. Deep Blue is 30 years old and was capable of defeating chess grand champions. It could be housed in a single cabinet. ChatGPT spans untold data centers, devouring massive amounts of electricity, and it's got its ass whipped by an 8-bit gaming console from the 1970s. Again, emphasizing the point that all of modern AI is not intelligence. There's no intelligence in modern artificial intelligence. There's literally predictive text on your phone. That's exactly how AI works. And no one's gonna ever sit there and think predictive text is like intelligent, that it learns your personality. Like everyone understands, like, oh, it's just doing probability. What's the most common? That's literally what AI is. Like, seriously. Ugh. Anyways. I've made computers that can't do math. I believe it. I believe it. People don't understand that AI has no intelligence. And my favorite thing right now is seeing people literally argue with it. There are people literally on social media arguing with AI, and it's just like, you're just sitting there looking at this like, yeah, okay, so our society is doomed. Cool, all right. Anyways, let's get on to actual fighting game content, shall we? Let's do this. All right. Oh shoot. Oh crap. I forgot to do something over here. Well, actually doesn't really matter as much these days, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, I'll figure it out. Okay. There was a specific company that was revealed that their AI was tech workers in India. I mean, honestly, like, a lot of times, like, you know, like those little Coco droids that deliver food, right? The little ones that roll across the street. I'm pretty sure those aren't AI. I'm pretty sure those are like piloted by people, right? Like, I don't feel like those could be AI, you know? There's just like some of all that stuff. So like, anyways, okay, let's do this for real here. Let's do this. Let's talk about fighting games, shall we? I really gotta figure out what's wrong, because whenever I stream Tuesday Show, whenever I stream Chenzor Dynasty, I have no problems. And then as soon as I stream Synchronize, everything explodes. Like every time. I don't know what's wrong. It's so crazy. I really need to figure it out. Anyways. Sorry. Well, I'll see you in the comments, Rikimaru. I'll see you in the comments. Hello, everybody. Welcome to It Was Tuesday with your host, James Chen, aka Jay Chenzor. Lots of stuff happening in the fighting game community these days. And of course, Summer Games Fest was this weekend here in Southern California. And as they did last year when they announced the season 2, and I found out that Terry and mine were going to be in the game at the the Classic Tetris World Championships, so too this year did I find out what the season 3 roster was at the Classic Tetris World Championships, because they run that on the same week as the Summer Games Fest intentionally. Capcom has officially announced the 4 characters being added in there, and that is, of course, Sagat, Alex, Ingrid, and C. Viper. I'm not sure if people out there are like, hey, can we see Can we see the trailer? There's really, I mean, it's a great trailer because it's just Kenny Omega cosplaying as like every character that's in there. Here, we'll just play it. Here, let's just do this. Let's go to their channel. Here we go. Yeah, year 3 character reveal. Just make sure that, it's there. Okay. So that, here we go. Let's just see this here. Let's switch to this. And let's play this.
Let's rumble. Alex. Viper. Ingrid.
Not very popular because Alex was also done just really poorly in Street Fighter V.
That was crazy. Sagat. Street Fighter 6.
Then wow. And I mean, look, obviously there's a lot to talk about here, but let's just look at this. So Sagat's the first character coming out this summer, so he's going to be showing up very soon. But I just want to talk about this background. This background is like seriously like one of the most beautiful backgrounds ever, because obviously it's the Thailand statue again, right? But it's like foggy and it's like bad weathery, you know, and it looks so good. I mean, like the sense of scale that you have here, like you see how like the background and the valleys and stuff like that move. Like look right around this area here, you know, this area right there, and you can kind of just see how like the sense of scale. There's like this valley or chasm there or whatever. I mean, the stage is just absolutely beautiful. Yeah, so I'm really excited, obviously, for Sagat to come out, and I'm really curious to see if they can make him a projectile zoner. Can they actually do it? Can they actually turn him into a projectile zoner? I mean, if we look at this footage really carefully over here, he's doing very Street Fighter V Sagat things, right? Like, he looks like he's definitely more of a, I would say like a beefed up Street Fighter V Sagat. In fact, he's even got pretty much the same kind of costume, right? Which he's got the little things over his shoulder. What the hell just happened? Okay, here we go. Let's go back here. So yeah, I mean, he's obviously throwing the high tigers, but I mean, let's just see how fast the high tiger looks over here. Obviously, I'm at half speed, so looks like it recovers fast, which it should, but we've seen both of the tiger shots. And did the tiger shot just have a tiger head in it? Did I just see that right? No, it's just a fireball. Okay, I was seeing things. But obviously, Tiger Knee hitting twice again, which it hasn't done in a while. And then this one's weird. Like, this looks like stand heavy kick, but he cancels it into this move here. So does he just have, like, one of his, like, V triggers as a special move, like a lot of the characters have? So, like, that he just cancels into this knee thing, or that hits twice, and then a third time, and which then he could link into what I'm assuming is his CA over here, or his level 3. But again, I mean, it looks really cool. It looks really cool. I can't wait to see what they did with Sagat. And of course, you know, Sagat counts as a Street Fighter 1 and Street Fighter 2 character. I would have liked to have seen someone like Eagle show up in the game, but one of the nice things about this is that, you know, they literally, I like how he tried to pose as much like them as possible. They didn't quite get the angles, but, you know, so Sagat is coming out. So someone did put up the link to the let's see over here. Yeah, so we have the release dates for what the hell? What happened? What happened? Okay. Anyways, yeah, so Sagat's the first one coming out in the summer. And I know this is conspiracy theory-ish kind of and stuff like this, but let me see if I can find this one over here. So the latest patch notes came out, and like I said, this is probably going to feel kind of conspiracy theory-ish, but like it does say here that our focus for this end of the content year update was various character tunings in addition to alterations to the general strategy of the game through a number of battle system changes. It is interesting that they called this the end of the content year. So maybe the patch that comes with Sagat is the official Season 3 patch, and maybe we'll actually see more changes to the system. And in fact, my strange brain is like, well, they nerfed some characters' throw loops, like Ken. Like, he can still throw loop, but he has to be perfect. Elena has to drive rush and be perfect timing, etc., etc. They, like, kind of shifted a few of them. I almost feel like they're experimenting. I don't know if it's just me. This is where my brain is going. It feels like they're experimenting, and they're trying to see if, like, okay, we'll make it so that it has to be, like, 1 to 2 frame perfect to get throw loops. And if people can still do them, they'll be like, interesting, you know, like, and so I would like to think that they're just using this period of time before Sagat drops as like a test, and then officially the Season 3 patch comes out. However, the thing that obviously kills that theory is that, you know, the official Season 2 patch was definitely... why are you not clicking? Okay, there we go. The official Season 2 patch was called the 2024-05 patch. And you can see that all the in-between patches are always like an exact specific date, whereas this one here is just a month and a year again. So my conspiracy theory is probably wrong, but I'm just holding out hope, you know. So, but yeah, in any case, there we are. Okay, here we go. But yeah, I mean, Sagat, really excited to see how he's going to turn out, see if they could really turn him into a projectile zoner. Because obviously, with the drive parry mechanic, like, obviously it's annoying because if you parry fireballs, you can't keep moving forward. But it's just not the same kind of threat, right? So one of the key things about being a zoner is that if you're a screen away and you throw projectiles, if the opponent just like parries them and doesn't do anything, it's like supposed to feel bad for that guy, right? But in this kind of a situation, if let's just say the opponent has a life lead and you're chucking fireballs at him and they're just parrying every single one of those fireballs, they can do that until the round ends and there's no pressure on the other character that's across the screen. The concept of a proper zoner is that regardless if you have a life lead or not, if someone's chucking plasma at you across the screen, you're feeling agitated and threatened because if you block it, you know, you lose a tiny bit of your life, you try to avoid it and neutral jump it, but then they threw a slow one, so you land it. So you're still trying to get in on them. That's how zoners generally play, is that zoners are a threat regardless of life lead or deficit. The other person across the screen has to still feel like they have the pressure to try to finish the fight. JP is a lot like this, right? So that's why JP still works great as a zoner. I don't know if they can actually do that with Sagat, but it'll be interesting to see if they can actually do it. I think it would be super awesome if they can actually do it. So, yeah, I mean, Eagle, yeah, if Eagle showed up and, you know, they made him openly gay, like, people are gonna be like, oh my God, why are you so woke? And dude, he was so gay in CVS2, like, like, people are gonna be like, why did they change him that way, right? And then you like literally go and like read all of Eagle's win quotes in CVS2, and you're like, this is nothing new, buddy. Yeah. But again, he's a Street Fighter 2 character. And then Alex, I'm happy for the Alex fans. Like I said, he was my first main in Street Fighter 3. I do like Alex a lot as a character. And what I'm really hoping for, and they've been so good about this, is really kind of like glow-ups, right? The glow-ups in this game have been ridiculous, right? Like in Street Fighter 5, I'll admit it, I wasn't all that into Ed. Like, I didn't really care about Ed much at all. And in Street Fighter 6, they made Ed kind of cool, right? Like, I legit think Ed is really kind of a sick character. They gave him a lot more personality, like all the crazy, like, you know, plane breaking that he does, etc., etc. So the problem with Alex was that, honestly, Street Fighter 5 kind of fucked him up, honestly. And sorry for the language. Okay, you know what? I told myself I was doing good play stuff, so let me try that again. Street Fighter 5 kind of forked him up, dude. Like his legs were backwards, his hair was French fries, and he sucked the entire time. Even at the end, when he got significantly better, he's still not that great, right? And so Alex just really kind of has this, like, blight on his history here, right? And so if he can come back here in Street Fighter 6, and they can make him so that he's, like, redemption kind of a thing, where he's actually like super cool and like make his systems work, and he's really back to kind of like that Street Fight. Because the thing is, in Street Fighter 3, even though he was bad in Third Strike, he feels gritty, and like he just feels like when he fights you, it's just like this rumble, like he feels like that good brawler kind of character. And in 5, like I said, he just felt like backwards legs, fry haircut dude, right? He was the first DLC for Street Fighter 5, and it was clearly seemed like he was not done yet. And like I said, he never got even remotely good in the game until the very last season. So like I said, it's just really weird because Street Fighter 5 feels like it really did a lot of damage to Alex. Like, if you aren't just already a big Alex or Third Strike fan, you're like, why do people care about Alex? He's so dumb. You know, like, kind of thing. And I am hoping for the ultimate Alex redemption arc here in Street Fighter 6, because he deserves better than what he had in 5. I want him to come out. I want him to be good. I want him to just look powerful. Like, I want him to make it look like he's like, it's scary, right? And like Olaf has said, like, that mofo was jacked in Street Fighter 3, right? I mean, that guy is like, he is like, you know, like bodybuilder, like model kind of like jacked, you know? And like, I hope we can get that kind of an Alex back in the game. Like, just a really, really great presentation for him. So in that way, I am really glad that he's back. And again, I like the fact that we have a Street Fighter 2, a Street Fighter 3, and with Viper, we have a Street Fighter 4 representative finally. I mean, again, Elena and Alex are the first Third Strike representatives in this game, right? The first Street Fighter 3, true Street Fighter 3 representatives in this game. So it took a long time to get more Street Fighter 3 characters in here. So I think it's really cool that they got Alex there. I like the beanie look. I'm not neither here nor there on the vest, but I just like the beanie because he looks so much more New York that way. Like, if you imagine New York in the wintertime, you know, like, well, I mean, he's got sleeveless vest on, but whatever. You know how it is, so. Oh, God, Abigail. I mean, Hugo's storyline kind of sucked in 4, too. What was Abigail's storyline? Because Hugo's storyline in Street Fighter 4 was that he just wanted to become a potato. Like, what? Like, he just literally wanted to become a potato. Oh, that's right. And then Abigail just wanted to become a car, right? Well, Abigail was cool. I liked Abigail as a character, but what the hell with that storyline? Yeah, I just want to become a car or something like that. So, just making car noises. But yeah, it's cool that Alex is coming back, and finally Viper is back. Finally, why did it take this long to get Viper back? Why did it? Hey, look, Christopher T, there's an artist out there that's like in love with Adon, and so all she keeps doing is just drawing like dreamy pictures of Adon or pictures of herself and Adon like getting married and all this stuff like that. And I love her because, you know what? Adon deserves more love. Adon deserves more love. I would love to see Adon come back, right? So, of course, I do call him Adon sometimes because I think that's actually how you pronounce his name, but Adon, Adon, whatever. So, I think it would be cool to bring him back. I really liked him in Alpha 1, but he sucked. Holy crap, he sucked. Like, I played Chun-Li because she was bad and I was a low-tier hero. I'm not sure who was worse, Chun-Li or Adon, but Adon was almost kind of like too bad for me to even want to get into. I even really liked Xism Adon in Alpha 3, which just jump kicks were just making him do the things. So I'm down with that too. I would love to see Adon come back. Honestly, I would really like to see that. So, but Viper coming back, finally, because, I mean, she was, and it's weird, because if it wasn't for Jury, I'm sure Viper would have been in 5 or 6. Probably both, right? She probably would have taken Jury's place. But Jury was just so goddamn popular that she just overshot Viper in terms of the, you know, the waifu character of the game. But I've always thought Viper is really cool. She has a huge fan base, and you know, out of the 4 original characters in Street Fighter 4, the 4 original characters, she is without question the most popular of the 4. So to me, Viper kind of represents the true, like, she is the true Street Fighter 4 representative. Like, obviously that's gone to Jury these days. Like, if you're like, okay, let's find a character to represent Street Fighter 4, it's just Jury, right? But for me, that's Viper. Like, Viper, I feel like, is the character to me that if I was gonna have like a Street Fighter collection, and you know, you had Street Fighter 1, you know, you put Ryu, Street Fighter 2, maybe you put Chun-Li, Street Fighter 3, like, you have to put kind of, like, if you're talking about like protagonists, or maybe you put Alex, but actually, you probably have to put Chun-Li for Street Fighter 3, actually. But for 4, I would probably, like, Viper would be the character that I feel like should represent that game. And so her finally coming back, I'm just really, really happy about that. Olaf would kill me for which part? Which part? Because I know he likes Viper a lot more than he likes Jury. And also, I mean, Viper was teased in the story mode. Like, she was hanging around with Jury. Like, her and Jury looked like almost kind of like a Thelma and Louise. They were just going around causing trouble. And I'd kind of like to see a little bit more of that storyline, to be honest with you. Oh, I see. Yes, and that's the question, though, Lurker Spine. That is the big question. Are they going to make C. Viper... Jasmine was just scratching herself, but she was hitting the TV. So I just heard this like a woodpecker, and I was like, what the hell is going on? Oh, Viper and Jury interact in the comics a lot? Interesting, okay. But yeah, I would like to see, someone actually suggested this, but they were like, just make Viper really hard execution-wise, and just do that. Like, obviously the game doesn't have crazy execution, and in Street Fighter V, this was kind of accomplished with Manat, right? So this game was like, every combo is so easy, and then they were like, here's Manat, here's V-Trigger 1, have fun, and like every execution junkie became a Manat. I played Manat for a while because I wanted to learn all that stuff because it was just really cool to see, really fun to do. And we'll get that when we talk about other games too, but like I am seeing this resurgence in like the desire for execution in the FGC, which I'm so happy to see, but I'm biased. But you know, Manat was that character. I feel like if they just made Viper kind of similarly, that she is just about feint cancels, fierce feint cancel, etc., and like still had a lot of these crazy execution things. Give her the high jump so she can high jump cancel moves into, well, I guess it wouldn't matter because if you could cancel a move into a high jump, you can cancel it into a super most likely. Or actually maybe not even necessarily level 1s, right? Or they just make it so that certain moves can just chain into the high jump because they just program it that way. So it just chains into the high jump, but then you can jump cancel it into supers, etc., etc. Like, why not? Why not just make Viper the execution monster and then just, that's it. Like let the other characters just keep, you know, design them how you've already been designing them, and let some of the execution monsters have fun with this character, because it will bring hype, it will bring a lot of excitement, and it will be the character that a lot of people will be looking for. Because again, I know there's a lot of people out there that hate execution and don't want execution in the game, but there's nothing wrong with making a game, and again, this is what Street Fighter 4 did the best, was they made characters for all the types of players. They didn't make the game a specific way. The characters represented the different play styles. If you loved execution, you just played Gen and Sakura and Viper and Dudley, you know, but if you wanted, you know, to play the character that was all heart mind games, you played Ryu, you know. If you wanted to play a character that you didn't have to learn any FADC cancels or any one frame links, Bison was right there for you guys. Just hit heavy kick till you win, you know, kind of a thing. I mean, that's how it's always been in the past for Street Fighter games. That you kind of had that difference, right? Because even something like in Third Strike, learning to use Urien is infinitely harder than learning like most of the other characters, because if you want to maximize Urien, you have to know how to charge partition. If you can't charge partition, you can't do half of the unblockable setups that Urien has. Like, you have to learn charge partitioning to even put Urien at that competitive level. And so it's nice, right? Because there was definitely other characters in that game where it's like button go, brrr, you know, kind of a thing. So you know, I mean, Mr. Crimson said he's back too, Super Coco Gene. He was like, finally I'm back, and now you'll know why I have my name. And I was like, holy crap, is that why he's Mr. Crimson? And I've known him since back then. I don't know why. I just never made that connection. Because, yeah, he's a Viper player back in the day. So, oh, man. But that's probably why he likes playing Dulcim. Because Dulcim in 5 and in 6 is very active. Like, it's not like Viper execution, but you are definitely doing a lot with Dulcim. And he's got a lot of tricky things to do, you know, so it just feels better when you have the character that you're allowed to do a lot of stuff with your hands. I mean, when you watch me play neutral in these games, I can't stop hitting buttons, so I die all the time. I need characters that are busy with my hands as well, because it just feels more comfortable to me that way. I mean, look, FDB, I really think Dulcim is the best character in 5. I know I've had this crazy argument with someone about that before, but I really do think he's the best character in the game, even more than Luke, even at the end of Street Fighter V. I really did think Dhalsim was the best because he had so much shit. And honestly, if we never stopped playing the game, more Dhalsim players would come out. More tech would be discovered for Dhalsim because Dhalsim had more potential for tech than a lot of other characters. And now in Street Fighter 6, as far as I can tell, he's like turned even more into Sentinel. So I'm actually really scared. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I've been saying, Drunken Banana. Like, I hope that they make Viper a high execution. Even if they change the way that she plays to a degree, which is kind of expected, I hope that they keep her high execution so she is the Menat of the game. And remember, Menat came out in Season 3 of Street Fighter V. She came out in Season 3 and she was an execution monster and people loved it. She started creating highlight clips all over the place. And if they maybe are thinking the same thing and they saved Viper for Season 3 to be the execution monster, there it is, right? It's just in time. So fingers crossed that Viper still gets to be crazy. Do I think Feints will stay in? So if she was coming out in Season 1 or Season 2 as DLC, I would say no. I really think that they're gone. But the fact that she is coming out in 3 in the Menat cycle, you know, the same time frame as Menat, I think that there is a potential for that, especially if they do go with that idea that they're like, okay, you guys like execution? Here's a crazy execution character for you guys. Have fun. But, like, we're going to keep making the other characters the way we make characters, right? Like, I mean, again, it's not that they're making them without execution. It's just that people want that high level execution character. People want that character that they have to practice and just, you know, twist her with your fingers and all these things. There are people, like I said, who love that. I love that. Like, I really like that kind of stuff. And so, you know, it would be cool if they actually made a character for those kind of players, right? Yeah, I saw that theory. Viper was known for cross-ups. Maybe that is why perfect parries were nerfed. I saw that theory, and it's a valid theory, but we'll see. Sim is garbage in 6 just because of the mechanics. I honestly do think, while he needed all the buffs that he's gotten so far, I also still think that Dhalsim would be a character that, even if, like, say from this point forward, if we never got another patch, Dhalsim would get better in the game eventually, just because people would understand him better. Because again, same thing that happened in Street Fighter V, like when that last patch came out, all the Dhalsim players were like, you nerfed him? Like all of the Dhalsims in the Dhalsim Discord were like, rip Dhalsim. And then they realized that actually, yeah, V-Shift was really good for him. And then they were like, oh wait, we have all this other and then, yeah, Dhalsim eventually became the best, right? So you don't usually nerf a system mechanic for just one character. Agreed. So probably not. So, regardless, I'm happy that Viper's back. She's like the character that I want back tied for the most because I think she deserves it. But you can see that my choice for the character I want back the most is less about, I love this character, I want to see them. It's about, like, representation. It's about, you know, this character deserves it. Because the other character that I have tied with her, and probably I want back a little bit more than Viper, is Saddam, right? And I've already mentioned it in a previous stream that the reason why I want Saddam back is because he's the only brand new character in Alpha that has not come back in 4 or 5, right? If we don't count Junie and Julie. And it's hard to count Junie and Julie because in Alpha 3 they were barely characters. And actually, via storyline, they're done, right? Cammy rescued them. They're done. They're not even fighting anymore. They have no more story, unless, obviously, you can concoct the story to make them come back and fight again. But outside of that, and Saddam was introduced in Alpha 1. He's the only character that's never become playable again since Alpha. and it's really kind of right. Oh, yeah, right. I think Junie and Julie, yeah, they are in the 5-story mode, right? In like Cammy's arc, if I'm not mistaken. Now, the interesting thing is, Saddam's truck is in World Tour as well, but it's being run by a person named Gamora. I almost feel like if they knew they didn't have a chance to put Sodom in, they would have just named him Sodom and just been like done with it. But instead, they put Gamora in there. So, well, J and V11, I've said that myself. My favorite character in Street Fighter 3 is Dudley. I think he's the sickest character ever. I also really liked Makoto, but I couldn't play Makoto, so by actually maining Dudley, I actually think Dudley is like the coolest character. And again, I just like it when characters represent their martial art well. You know what I mean? That's my criteria. So like for Street Fighter Third Strike, I really didn't like the what the hell are they characters, right? Really didn't like Necro, really like Oro, I really didn't like Q, I didn't like Remy, you know, just like a 12, don't even get me started on 12. 12 is like the second most character that I never want to see come back to a Street Fighter game, right? So yeah, I'm just not a fan of that, right? I actually really liked Juri and Hakan when they were announced. I really liked Armika when she came out because that's what Japanese wrestling was like, right? She was a wrestler. And people are like, what is this character? Like, this is just like a gooner character or whatever. And I'm like, no, because this is actually what Japanese wrestling is like. And the women in Japan, they actually have the move where they throw you off the ropes, run at you, and launch their ass into you. Like, that was legit, like a real move that they did, you know? So, right, you like the monsters. And here's the funny thing is that I don't care about those kind of characters in every other series. It's just Street Fighter. It's just Street Fighter. And again, Remy is just Guile. You're right. Has nothing to do with his playstyle. I hate Remy because of how he looks. And what the fork is a Remy, right? Like he looks like seriously like a KOF reject, right? Like what the freak is he, you know? And again, like Necro, well, I was an Alex player, so I did hate Necro for being a stretchy guy. But at the same time, what the heck is he? Like, why is he even in this game, right? Even Gil and Urian didn't bother me so much because they kind of represented that Iron Man kind of, you know, physical fitness kind of thing. And the way that Gil was, like, the way I saw Gil, yeah, he has all these stupid magical powers and shit, but he looked like like one of those Greek gods, you know what I mean? I mean, he even has like the freaking toga when he shows up, you know, and it goes away and everything. And it felt right to me. Fang feels like the bad guy in a Chinese martial arts movie, you know, like, I like as long as you're adjacent somehow, it works for me a little bit better. And so I really liked Armika, etc. And I think Dudley is the coolest character because Balrog is the saddest excuse for a boxer that you can put in a fighting game. Although, to be fair, if he is just about power from one punch, it makes sense. But the fact that Dudley and every one of his target combos has him switching arms like in perfect, like in like boxing style, like go watch him. Like I don't think he has a single target combo, and he has like a million target combos that he uses the same arm twice in 2 moves in a row. I don't think he has one. I might be wrong because, like I said, he has a million target combos, but I'm pretty sure every single one of them has them switch arms. And so, like my favorite target combo was forward heavy, you know, forward roundhouse fierce. And every time people watch me play Dudley, they see me do that target combo a lot, and they're like, why do you do that target combo all the time instead of like trying to do roundhouse into ducking up or whatever? It's just because, like, for me, like, that's just the, like, poo, pow, pow. It just feels really cool. So I just do it because it feels really cool. And that's it. That's the whole reason why I do it, man. So, yeah, I really like Dudley. So I hope he might. I'm like, if he's the next Street Fighter 3 character to come back, because if that's what they're trying to do, is like trying to bring back characters, you know, evenly spread. I appreciate the fact that they are, you know, they released a Street Fighter 2, yes, /1, a Street Fighter 3, and a Street Fighter 4 character in season 3. I'm glad they do that. And so if next season's kind of the same, obviously the biggest problem right now is it's sad that it's only 4 characters a season, because it's going to take forever for, you know, like classic characters to come back, or even more so, you know, new characters. Because I wouldn't mind seeing brand new characters in this game either, right? So, you know, it is a shame for that reason, but I think Capcom has realized that, yeah, it's probably too hard to get 6 characters out in 1 year at this point. So, which just honestly makes me believe that their staffing is really, like Capcom's probably not staffing them particularly full of people, which is really unfortunate. But if that is the case, I'm just speaking from like assumptions, like guessing kind of thing. So, but yeah, 4 Kings feel like they're coming. So next season might be Vega, etc., etc. So maybe Vega, Dudley. But I mean, we definitely need to get, you know, well, I mean, I guess actually now, both seasons now, yeah, have actually been 2 men and 2 women. So never mind, they're doing a great job here. So they're doing a great job here. Yeah, I mean, another rival schools character would be really, really cool, etc., etc. Fei Long is going to be a hard one, because I don't know how much truth there is to the to the Bruce Lee Foundation, whatever, you know, that owns the rights to being able to put a Bruce Lee clone into your game. I don't know if the thing that they said, that when they were just like, nope, no more Bruce Lee clones in anything, or no more, you know, because they got really mad at Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So I'm wondering if that's actually true, and if that is true, we might not see Fei Long at any point in time, as long as we don't get Makoto. You're actually an anti-Makoto character, huh? Interesting. Okay. Fixing Monster Hunter Wilds. So I don't know anything about that. Is that game being poorly received? Is it very buggy? I'm not actually sure. So, right, Law is there in Tekken, which might just mean that either that or maybe they paid them enough or something like that, right? So, money talks, right? Money always talks. And honestly, for a Street Fighter 2 character, well, that's the thing, is if all the Heavenly Kings are showing up, that's not going to leave a lot of room for Fei Long or T-Hawk. T-Hawk is probably just done. Although I think they could make him distinctly different than Lily, easily. Because Lily doesn't play like T-Hawk at all. You could definitely make a completely different character with T-Hawk, but I think the chances of T-Hawk coming back is probably very, very low. Fei Long would be the only one that's truly missing besides the 4 Kings. But obviously Street Fighter 2 has massive representation in this game. So, like, is that a character that they're going to try to get back or focus on? I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't think that character is going to necessarily show up anytime soon as well. So if it is just going to be the Heavenly Kings every season, that's just how it's going to go. But yeah, so again, I really like the spread. They have a Street Fighter 2, a Street Fighter 3, and a Street Fighter 4 character for Season 3. That's really cool. So I'm actually, looking forward to the season and seeing what those characters can do. And seeing how they play, seeing how they change them. I'd like to see, Alex get kind of that redemption after being kind of screwed in Street Fighter 5. I'd love to see Viper be an execution character. I'm really curious to see if Sagat can be a proper zoning character. So I'm really curious to see how they're going to handle them. Like I said, all I remember right now is that Sagat is the first DLC character coming out in summer. His stage looks incredible. I think that stage is so beautiful. So Yeah, I mean, really cool, again, to get the announcement right away, get all the characters that we're getting from the season pass. So we'll see how that goes. And honestly, we'll see if my conspiracy theory holds up, that potentially, maybe they're experimenting with throw loops right now, and that the first patch that comes with Sagat actually, like, tweaks throw loops maybe, because like I said, it's interesting, the changes that they made is that the way that throw loops have been working, like they didn't get rid of some of them, but they nerfed a few of them. Like, why would you nerf a couple of characters throw loops and not everybody else's, and then make Elena, your newest character, not have a true throw loop without having to drive rush and have perfect timing on the throw? It's like a 1 to 2 frame window to get a perfect throw loop. Like, it's just really interesting. They did some weird stuff, and in my head, it's like they're testing them out. They're testing out solutions, changes, to see how those characters function. Does that make it so that the characters with no through loops just die really badly? Like, okay, I can't perfectly time it. Let's see if perfect parries murder these characters, right? Or let's see if it really affects characters. And so my hope, fingers crossed, is that when Sagat drops, after they get a lot more data, that they can actually just find a good solution to kind of apply across the board. So, will he be out in time for Tiger Uppercut? When's Tiger Uppercut? I'm not really sure. I'm not sure when that's actually happening. But if he's coming out in the summer, I suspect he'll drop before Evo. Just like Mai still has her throw loop. Yeah, she still has a throw loop, which is stronger than Jury's too, because she's not forced to backdash to shimmy. So Jury has the easy to time throw loop as well. In fact, a lot of throw loops are pretty easy to time. But Jury's weakness is that she has to backdash, right? So they have a version with Mai where she can shimmy by backdashing and walking backwards. They have a version where Jury can dash forward but has to backdash. She can't walk back because immediate throws will catch her. So she can't shimmy, technically, immediate throws, etc. So they've kind of like shifted the rainbow a little bit of how all the throw loops work. So I'm hoping that they're just doing that to see how that affects all the characters differently. And then when the official season 3 starts with Sagat, that they'll put some more system changes to throw loops. Because what they did to perfect parries was massive. And people were complaining about perfect parries, right? People were like, we don't like perfect parries. And like let's pretend throw loops don't exist. Like, they really kind of addressed what a lot of people hated about perfect parries. Like, a lot. Like, perfect parries are going to be significantly weaker now. So they really, like, did what a lot of people wanted, for that. And then throw loops, they just left the same. Like, that seems very, very weird. Oh, November? Oh, he'll be out way before then. In fact, the second character will probably be out by then as well, so. Right, but see, pushing back everybody's front throws, but like, is that the right solution? Is that good? How much do you do it? Do you make it like Chun-Li's? Do you make it like, stuff like that? I think that they're just actually just trying it out, so. But yeah, that was the Season 3 roster announced at Summer Games Fest, so kind of excited to see that coming out soon, so. I think that's pretty much all I have to say about the past. Like I said, really excited to see all 3 of the characters. And, So, thank you guys for tuning in here for It Was Tuesday. Obviously, I appreciate everybody's support. And, the day that this... Okay. Man. So I mentioned that the character 12 is the character that was the second most that I never ever want to see show up in a Street Fighter game. I'll give everybody, well, a lot of people in the chat know who my number one is, right? So many people know who my number one character is that I never, ever, ever want to see in a Street Fighter game. So all I'll say is this. They did manage to make Ed cool. They gave him a very nice glow up. They gave glow ups to a lot of characters, so I really could hope that they can do something well with Alex. And there's been a lot of discourse already on the internet saying, oh, this complaint is not valid, this complaint is not valid, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Look, Ingrid just stands for everything that I don't want in Street Fighter, which is what the hell fighting style is that, and supposedly she's completely overpowered, and she's magical. Her counter in CFJ was she just lifted you off the screen. You didn't even change animation frames, by the way. You just floated off screen and fell and dropped to the ground, etc., etc. I am not a fan of Ingrid, to say the least. To say the least. I hate this character. I really, really do. But the battle team has done such a good job. Like Oro. I don't like Oro. I never liked Oro. I think Oro is a really stupid character. And then in Street Fighter V, they gave him a turtle, and that was the coolest thing ever, right? Like, that was awesome. Like, then I liked Oro. All they did was give him a turtle, and I thought Oro was like the coolest character ever, right? It was good enough. It was good enough for me to kind of turn on that. And this same battle team is the one that turned Ed into a character that is actually kind of cool. Because again, I never cared about Ed in Street Fighter V at all. I was just like, what the heck is this character, right? And so I am holding out hope and faith that they can turn Ingrid into a character that I like. Again, I'm not like mad that, I mean, I'm sad that they're putting her in the game and all this stuff like this, but you know, like, I'm not blaming them, and if they can figure out a proper lore for her, because she's never really had a lore. But yeah, at one point in time, she was supposed to be like the embodiment of like the psycho power, rose soul power, Satsue no Hado. Like, she was supposed to be like canonically like one of the most powerful characters, you know, in the universe kind of thing. And I'm just like, ugh, God. Well, I'm just gonna have the season pass, Flashy Flash, so I'm gonna have the character no matter what. But to be fair, I really actually hated Rose when she first showed up in Street Fighter Alpha. I really hated her because I was like, what is this completely random magical high heel wearing Darkwing Duck clone doing in a fighting game? Like, I actually really hated Rose when she first came out, right? My least favorite characters in Street Fighter 2 were Dhalsim and Blanca. The only reason why I was okay with Dhalsim is because I found out where Dhalsim came from and where he was inspired from. So I was like, okay. So again, martial arts adjacent, kind of neat. But yeah, I really didn't like Rose. And like I said, in Third Strike, 12, Necro, and Remy are on my list of like 5 most hated Street Fighter characters ever in a Street Fighter game. I didn't like Sakura when she first showed up. I really didn't like Sakura. I was like, why are you putting a schoolgirl in this fighting game tournament? That doesn't make sense at all. Like, she would just get beat up and that's the end of it. Like, it didn't make sense, right? So I didn't like Sakura. Right, so obviously Rose, very Lisa inspired. I had no idea. But again, like, I just didn't like those characters. So like I said, I liked Armika because she made sense, right? The only reason why I didn't hate Karin is because Karin is, and again, this is only for Street Fighter, so Norimaru, whatever, I don't care, right? Put him in any other game, like Guilty Gear, KOF. If Ingrid was in KOF, I would have zero problems with her. Like if Ingrid was a KOF character, looked exactly the same, was the embodiment of Orochi, and was like super powerful for no reason, I'd be like, yeah, par for course, like the only reason why I put up with Karin is because I actually thought Karin was a cool idea. Again, she was created by a manga artist. She was not created by Capcom. So Sakura had this big series of mangas that's the author is the one who invented Karin. And literally, Karin is just Sakura's Ken. And they don't play that up anymore, which makes me sad. Because in Street Fighter V, they don't really make that apparent anymore. But that's all Karin was. She was Ken for Sakura. Well, right, Strider is the same thing. But if you think about it, right, like dressed in red, K-N, like her name is literally Karin. She's blonde, she's half Japanese and half Caucasian, and she's rich as fork, right? Like, she just was created because Sakura tries to emulate Ryu so much. It made sense to give her a rival who was just basically her version of Ken. And so I've never minded Karin that way because that's kind of, she filled that role, and I thought that was kind of neat, right? So Karin, I've never really had a problem with. But it's just, oh man, like... And so again, like, for people who are like, James, that whole complaint about, like, she's in a dress, whatever, blah, 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 doesn't make sense because look at Rose. Yeah, I hated Rose, too. Look at Sakura. Yeah, I didn't like Sakura either, right? What about, no, all the characters that you're going to name, I don't like them. Okay? I liked Elena. I liked Ibuki. I liked Makoto. I liked Dudley. I liked Alex. You know why? Because they're all based off of a real fighting style, and that's awesome. All the other crazy characters, I'm not a fan. So it's very consistent for me here. But, like, she is the epitome of that because not only is she little girl in a dress who can now fight with, like, the greatest warriors ever, with magic that lifts them into the sky for no reason. Obviously, they could change her a lot. But, like, it's just, like, there's, like, nothing about her that makes sense about being a fighter. And if the storyline, which, as people have mentioned, was mistranslated, but I'm not even sure if that's the case, because I remember reading, like, those character profile books that describe Ingrid, like, as, like, the most ridiculously powerful character ever. Vega's like an assassin, right? And to be honest with you, and it's weird because, like, I can't find any evidence of this anymore, but Vega has always been a high-ally player to me. Like, if you actually think about Vega, he's a high-ally player, right? So if you actually look at high-ally players, they just have this big giant cup off their fist, and what do? They jump on walls, and they're fast and very, very mobile. I heard at one point in time that that high-ally players wore the same sash that Vega has on him. So to me, I was always like, he's like a high-ally player who turned into an assassin. High-ally players used to wear masks on their faces. So that's what I had always associated with him. They called him Bullfighter, and I was like, what? Like, huh? So that's how I always pictured Vega. So Vega's never really bothered me for that reason, because it was like one of those, yeah, and he's in Spain, right? Where that's where High Ally is like the most popular, is in Spain, right? So it all makes sense. Again, this is what I believed even back in Street Fighter 2. This is not even any sort of modern thing. Like, that's what I had heard, And, you know, back in the day, you don't know what's credible or not. And that's just had been in the lore in my head forever. Is that Vega's a high alive player. So that's just all it is. Right. The Street Fighter cast has always been a little bit more about stereotypes. Absolutely true. Which is why on commentary at Combo Breaker, I said that if Third Strike came out today, or even Street Fighter 3 came out today, I really think it would be accused of being woke. I really think so. Because if you look at the history of that series, right, they tried to change all the things, right? Balrog is just like the worst kind of like stereotype that you can have, right? Muscle, no intelligence, strength, blah, blah, blah. You know, I murdered somebody in the ring. And so what did they do? They found the boxer in Third Strike who is just all about high society. He's like rich, you know, like he's exactly the opposite of Balrog, right? The grappler is a short little girl. The most naked character in the game is a guy, right? Like, I really feel like this game, like, if Street Fighter 3 series would be lambasted as, like, one of the most woke things ever if it came out today. I don't know who Chris Eubank is, actually. I actually don't know, so... Yeah, granted, Elena exists, and she's pretty damn naked, but Urien is still more naked than that, and so was Gil, right? Like, can you imagine? Like, I can tell you, the first time I ever saw Gil, we were at the UCLA arcade, Gil came out, and he came out in the toga, and we were like, this is so cool, and then he shed off, like, the robe, and he's just in this little banana hammock, and that was it? Dude, it was uncomfortably silent when that happened. There was like, you could tell that a lot of people were like, oh! Like, because at that time, obviously, we were not as, you know, we were all a lot more horrible people back then. And so, it definitely was like, what the hell? Like you could almost see the disappointment of a lot of people that were just like, I went from really liking this character to like, I never want to see this character again, you know? Like, that's what it was. Like, seriously, the Street Fighter 3 series would have been accused of being like the wokest thing on the planet, seriously. Interesting, okay. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was based on that because a lot of the characters in these games are based off of those kind of things, so... But in any case, yeah, so Ingrid, again, like, obviously I'm not happy about it. Obviously, I'm really upset about it, but thankfully, and again, I don't like talking about this at all because I like letting people have the surprises when they have them. But thankfully, because of the leak, I was a little more prepared for this. To be a little bit more rational about it. So, I hope that they can change my mind about Ingrid. And the track record of this current team who are working on, you know, ladder Street Fighter 5 into Street Fighter 6, their track record has been amazing, right? Like, for me, like, I don't think that there's a single character... Well, actually, okay, most of the characters I think are really, really well designed, right? And the characters that I even disliked before have come back in a way that I'm like, okay, that's actually really sick how they made these characters. So their track record is impeccable right now, and so I'm hoping they can get me to change my mind. If they remove a little bit of that storyline where she is not the most powerful being on the planet, if they kind of just lean more into the Rose storyline of the soul power like they did with Menat, right? Like if they tied her directly to that, you know, if they can find a way to make Ingrid a little more grounded. And maybe she'll have alternate costumes that don't look as, like, right? So, again, like I said, I still hate Rose's original costume. I still hate it. Hate it. Right? So, and that's the thing is like, I think one source even said that she literally was a space alien, Kumatori. Like, I really do think at one point in time it was kind of implied she came from outer space or something like that. So, right. And Forrest, I'm like, yeah, like that I just don't feel like that. Like, we already have Karin, right? And like I said, I can justify her because she's, Ken to Sakura. And so, like, why put in another one? Anyways, yeah, I just, like, I hope I can get my mind changed on the character. I don't want to be super negative. I don't want to be doom and gloom about it, but, a lot of people who have heard me talk about her before in previous streams know exactly how I feel about that character. But like I said, I will give them a chance. I will give them a chance because they have done a great job with so many of the characters. And, it's not the first time that a character has shown up in, one of these games that I'm just like, oh God, why are they, this is probably the most extreme example of it. But I'm trying so hard to be hopeful and remain positive. Her new outfit is way more space designed, which freaks me out even more. So, Lord Knight said that you should hate some of the characters in a fighting game because there should be so many different designs that one is just not for you. Yeah, no, it's absolutely true. Absolutely true. And I think he's absolutely correct on that. And Ingrid just happens to fall into that exactly everything that I didn't want to see in Street Fighter. And again, it's not that I hate Ingrid. I hate Ingrid for Street Fighter. But, like, if she showed up in KOF, whatever. If she showed up in Guilty Gear, whatever. If she showed up in Tekken, whatever. It's just, for me, I just had this crazy ideal of how I would like Street Fighter to be. Like, I miss having Street Fighter characters squarely put into a country. I miss Street Fighter characters all having their own stage, their own, they still have their background music, but like, I liked that kind of idea, and I liked the characters being like, oh, this is their martial arts style. And even for Guile, it's like army training, right? Like, yes, that's a real thing. And so for me, if Ingrid is magical, especially like with things where she could just lift you off the screen and let you drop, like, like she just happens to embody everything that I never wanted to see in a Street Fighter game. So, yeah, it's tough for me. And like I said, it's pretty consistent for me because I'm not going to sit here and be like, Rose is so cool, and then be like, I hate Ingrid. Because like I said, I hated Rose. I literally hated Rose when Street Fighter Alpha 1 came out. Me and my brother would talk about it all the time. Like, what is this stupid character doing here? Like, she shouldn't even be able to fight, right? Like, she would just move in a certain way, the heel would break, and she'd twist her ankle, and that's the end of the fight. Like, why are you fighting in high heels, right? Like, I've already hated that kind of character. And to me, like, she was just kind of like the epitome of that, honestly. So, yeah, having the plane travel to the country, I miss that. I really do. I miss that kind of, this is a tournament kind of environment, right? Like, KOF is kind of like that, but KOF was magical since the beginning, right? I miss the fact that the original Street Fighter 2, and again, obviously I'm an old man, I'm just nostalgic, etc., etc. I miss the fact that it was like just this fighting game tournament, and it was just all these different styles, and they fought and everything like that, and they always had to go through Pete Holmes to get the proper financial approval and get the packets and all that stuff like that. I miss that kind of thing, because it was only the main storyline with Ryu, Akuma, and like Bison that were like magical. the only way that I've warmed up to Rose is because that she had the soul power, in which soul power was the opposite of psycho power. And so I was able to kind of, okay, that's what it is. Ryu throws fireballs in Street Fighter 1, yeah, but it's like the handprint is in the fireball. It's about like the energy, it's about the key, right? Like it's about that kind of thing. And they don't call it magic. There's like Ryu's fireball is not referred to as magic. Right? It is the epitome of martial arts. It's like the true example of you with the power to focus and have that as part of that whole Satsue no Hado style or whatever. I don't know what it's called, blah, blah, blah. But like, Blanca did electricity. Guess what? I hated Blanca too. He was the character I hated the most in Street Fighter 2. But it was always gone through this martial arts vein, right? It wasn't magic. It wasn't magic. It was always based off of this martial arts tournament and being super strong at martial arts. Ken had flaming uppercuts. Fei Long could produce fire with his leg. Like, yeah, there's a lot of supernatural or, superhuman things. But when it's just magic, like, I couldn't really gel with it. Yeah, exactly. Like the Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, it's perfectly illustrated how that works, right? So, So even DBZ makes that distinction between key-based and magic-based power. Bison Psycho Power, not a fan, but he's also the main bad guy. And so you always give it, you always can suspend disbelief with the main bad guy of the game. And I think that's also kind of why Gil didn't bother me that much, right? So that's just the thing. Next Gen Leap says James is turning senile. I take offense to that Next Gen Leap because I have been senile for a long time already, okay? You better recognize that. None of this turning senile crap. I've been senile forever. Get that straight, okay? Get that straight. So, yeah, that's just how I feel kind of like about this. So, I don't get you martial artists. It's a little zen for me. Sea Viper, Windcoat, and Street Fighter. That's cool. Yeah, see, even they kind of acknowledge it there too, right? So that's how it is. Dude, that's why I kept calling myself JC Nile. Like, that's one of my Smurf accounts online. I'm JC Nile, which sounds like, oh, like the Nile River, like cool. Like, no, it's a pun. It's a pun. Like, one of my Smurf accounts online is JC Nile. So, you know. Oh, man. So, senile and proud. Yeah, basically. But that's all it is, right? And so, yes, Ingrid bothers me. Yes, for a lot of the reasons that other people mentioned, like, what is she? Why is she even fight? Why is she the most powerful thing in the galaxy? All that stuff, which a lot of it might not even be true, which a lot of it might be erased by the time Street Fighter 6 comes out. Like, the fascinating part to me is when in Street Fighter 5, I believe it was, when Oro hints that the Satsue no Hado and Psycho Power are actually two parts of the same energy. So at some point it was kind of implied that Psycho Power and the Satsue no Hado are the same thing, which essentially also means that Soul Power is also all kind of in that bundle. And so maybe they just make Ingrid the ultimate, like, I am the embodiment, which I can use Psycho and Soul and Satsue no Hado and whatever power is all out there. But, like, how sick would it have been if, like, the girl who has this embodiment of all the powers showed up and just look like a freaking martial artist, right? Like, what if she looked like those drawings of Makoto where she just shows up in like karate gi and just like a wrap around her chest, and she, like her hair is in a ponytail, and she's just ripped as hell, and she's like, I am the embodiment of all that. Like, dude, like that would be sick, right? Like that would be so cool. That would be so cool. Well, I mean, look, Zangief and the green glowing hand, I mean, I've never been a fan of the green hand. Everybody knows how I feel about the green hand, okay? Right, the whole she's a god stuff is probably not really true, but regardless, like, then what is she? What is she here? And so if they can figure out a way to make it so that, like, it makes sense, and that, I mean, like I said, like people said, she looks kind of like an alien, and I'm worried about that. But like, if they can figure out a way to make her make sense, and like I said, their track record has been amazing, because I literally said, like, they actually made me think Ed is cool, right? So, for example, if they could ever actually somehow bring back Nakali and make Nakali cool, right? Like, they've already done so with Ed, and, you know, their track record has been good. And so, like, those, like, Ingrid and Nakali would be, like, the characters that I would be shocked if El Fuerte would be another one, if they could actually bring El Fuerte back and, like, not make him a giant racist stereotype. Like, that would actually be very interesting, right? I would love to see that. I would love to see Birdie come back and be fit again, right? Like, I would love to see the redemption arc for Birdie, because I hate what they did to Birdie in Street Fighter V as well. So, in any case, am I a fan of wrestling games? I used to be. I really liked pro wrestling on the NES. I don't think that counts. I also played WWE a lot on the NES, but that game was horrible. Terrible, terrible game. But I'll tell you what my favorite wrestling game is. And I'm going in a completely different direction here. But my favorite wrestling game was Royal Rumble on the SNES. And why? Because, so my parents used to, you know, obviously they owned a video store where they rented out video cassettes. I've talked about that in past streams before. And there was a lot of weekends and stuff like that where they would just get me and my brother to open the store, and we would work there, basically, you know, the way that Asian parents use their kids as free labor all the time, right? So they just use us as free labor. So what we would do is we would bring our SNES, and just like play games there and stuff like that. But, you know, we never wanted to play games while customers were in the building and stuff like that. Like, it would look bad. Like, you always want to make sure that you are paying attention to the customer. Our parents taught us a lot about being really good with customer service and stuff like that. And so one of the games they rented out there was the SNES Royal Rumble. And the best thing about that game is if you turned on Royal Rumble mode and, like, you pick the character, like, pick the character that you like the least, right? You pick that character, you make the character climb the turnbuckle, the ropes in the corner at the top of the screen, and just stood there. One of the computers would eventually just come up and hit the ropes, and you would fall out of the ring, and you would be eliminated. But the game kept going. So all the wrestlers would just get into the ring, and they would all be CPU, and they would just all fight. And so we would just do that. We would just do that, put it on, and just let them fight each other, and just sit there and watch it and laugh. And then whenever customers came in, we just let it go and just let it keep playing by itself. And so we would just watch all the dumb things that happened, and like, even in like true WWE fashion, some characters would last way longer than they should have. Dude, it was great, dude. I think it might have been LJN. Yes, I think it was. Dude, me and my brother were obsessed with that. We even came up with a whole super complicated system eventually for Alpha 3, in which we ran tournaments. And we ran tournaments for so long that some characters were so useless that we started putting them in teams. And we tried to make sure the teams had some sort of logical connection of why they're together, so we gave them names. But we always like balanced out like the worst character with the best character, and then we would put them in brackets and stuff. We were doing salty bets so much earlier than salty bets. Like, I should probably bring that back and just stream them for entertainment purposes, because I know a lot of people did that. I'm sure I can find our old data sheets of what team we put everybody on somewhere. Oh man, we always picked what ism we found that we thought that they did the best in, honestly. So, no, we do have a real boxer. That's why I was saying I love Dudley. That's why I was saying I love Dudley, because Dudley is like the greatest boxer there is, right? Like, I mean, like, he's just straight up a boxer. I love Dudley. He's so cool. So, yeah, we do have a boxer. That's why Dudley is my favorite character in Third Strike. Anyways, like evil, right? Yeah, no, seriously. It's true. And like I said, if they actually made Ingrid, like, if she was like, I can use all the powers, and like she showed up like as just some ridiculously buff chick, like just ripped as all hell, and like thin, like not like muscle bodybuilder, but like ripped but thin, like in that martial arts style, and she had all the crazy Satsui no Hado energy and all this other stuff, and you know, like she was just built for fighting. Like, that would be so sick, honestly. So anyways, I've been talking about this for way too long. So yeah, the season 3 was announced, and obviously I'm really excited for Sagat, Viper, and Alex. I like genuinely am excited for them, because I feel like those are 3 characters that deserve to come back. You know, Sagat, like, obviously, for me, it's just more of an experiment to see if they can turn him into a zoning fireball character. He might not end up playing the way that I would prefer him to play, but that's cool. And obviously Ingrid, I am not, again, like I said, I have disliked Ingrid since the beginning, so I'm not like mad that they're putting her in the game. You know, I don't think it's a bad decision. Like, there's obviously a lot of good reasons to put her in the game, because, you know, there's a bunch of Ingrid fans out there, even though they all have never used her or don't know anything about her. You know, it's the same thing that happened with Armika being announced in Street Fighter V. I love Armika. No, you didn't. No, you didn't love Armika, because I could name you like the 5 people, including myself, who actually liked Armika in Alpha 3, because everybody talks shit about the character. You were not an Armika fan, okay? Just like you are not an Ingrid fan, okay? I call BS on that. But she'll be popular, and they've done a good job with the glow-ups. So, you know, if they can turn her into a character that I actually think is cool, well, that's even better, because then I don't have to have a character that I am miserable about, kind of thing. So, okay. All right. So that's enough for season 3. I want to talk about some of these other things over here. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Again, like, it's weird how I can take any of these topics that I expected I would talk for like 15 minutes about and go on for an hour, but that's just how I am. So appreciate you guys sticking in here, listening to me talk. Hope you guys enjoy the rants. I will be traveling to CEO this weekend. I had the CTWC this last weekend, so I haven't been able to do a lot more of the going through the season 3 patches, so I apologize. But hopefully, we'll see what happens. We'll see if I can squeeze it in at some point in time. In any case, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. And for those of you here on Twitch, I will be covering these other topics. But for those of you on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Comment below who you would have liked to have seen, or who you are most happy about seeing. Let's actually try to be positive here. Put only the character that you are the most happy to see down here, okay? I don't want to see any comments about I'm so mad blahs in here. Let's keep it positive, okay? So thank you guys for tuning in. And the day that this podcast graced your ears was the most important day of your life. But for me,
it was Tuesday.
Zabado, oh, no, sorry. I meant for editing, YouTube archives, that kind of thing. If you're watching the edited version, then it's leaving. But the live stream is gonna continue, Zabado. The live stream is gonna keep going. So yeah. Let's move on to the next topic over here. I'm just talking for edited videos, basically. So, oh, we got gift subs. Hey, Metacon with 5 gift subs to Souls Wandering, to ID 920, to Crazy Spanks, to Gem Gaiman, and to Seth0221. So, cool. Thank you, Nutacon. Appreciate that. So, appreciate that. I have to remember now, because I didn't used to stream live on YouTube, so like I can't say for those of you on YouTube anymore. So I would say for those of you who are watching an archive or a blah 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 kind of things like that. So okay, so before we jump to the next topic here about Invincible, before we do that, I do have something I need to take care of first. Let me see here. Oh, that's right. This. Oh, shoot. I'm almost out of batteries. I haven't been charging. I don't know. Oh, but I should have enough for this here. All right, let's go over here. Let's go over here. Turn this off temporarily, and I do this, make sure I'm over here, I do this, okay. Let's see here, yoink, okay. And then what I'm gonna do over here is turn this off, like so, okay. And, oh my God, she is just walking back and forth here. He's just sitting there staring. Oops. Oh, wait, you can still hear me. Okay. What I'm going to do here, and this is always a little bit hard because you guys will hear an echo. I do want to make my speakers a little louder because that way I know I'm still going, because a lot of the times I lose signal and stuff like that. But if I can keep hearing myself, it helps a lot. And I apologize again because my kitchen is very dirty. Oh my God, messy, I should say. My kitchen is very messy. But hang on one second. Let's do this. Oh. There we go. Gotta mute that. Okay. All right. Hi, Jasmine. Nathan, why aren't you? Oh, there he is. Come on, Nathan. Okay. So I can get the view for you here. Yeah, slightly. You can't really see it. And again, if you're wondering, that's just all recycle. Because I'm obsessed with recycling things, but I'm not obsessed with taking things to the recycling center. So things just pile up. Unfortunately. So again, apologize for the mess that is in my home. Ugh. If anybody ever wants to volunteer to help me sort out all my stuff. However, the problem is I also have OCD. So, and ADHD. So, well, it's mostly OCD. So, like, the hard part is that I don't want anybody else to help me clean because they'll put everything in the wrong places and not where I would know that they're supposed to go. So, like, if anyone tried to clean or organize my home and decided to move things where they go and put them in places that do not logically make sense to me, I will have a panic attack, which has actually happened in the past. So it's tough. It's tough being OCD and ADHD and all this stuff. Ugh, it's so annoying. Like I've been saying to everybody else earlier, the best thing that I've ever heard was to differentiate between being ADHD and being lazy is the fact that if you're lazy, you hope somebody else does it for you. But if you're ADHD, you don't want anybody to do it for you. You want to do it yourself. And you just feel bad about not doing it over and over and over and over and over again. It's just really what it comes to. Power up. There it is. Power up meow every time. Every time he jumps to the top of the fridge, you hear him go meow, and then he jumps up. So here, let's just stare at Jasmine for a while here. Hi, Nathan. Hi, Nathan. Good boy. Good boy. Look at you eat through your food so fast. Oh my God. Jasmine eating slowly. She also has some of this dry food over here, which is, you know, harder to crunch and stuff, just basically designed to scrape against her teeth and clean off the plaque essentially. I don't give anything to Nathan. He needs to have his plaque cleaned, but when I give him those the dry food pieces, he just swallows them. Like you can hear Jasmine do the crunch. You can hear the when she bites into the pieces. Like, I don't know if you heard that, but Nathan, when he eats them, I hear no crunch. So you heard that one. I know you guys heard that one. So it works for Jasmine, but I put it in there and Nathan, I don't hear a crunch. Like, I honestly think that there's something wrong with Nathan. I've never seen a cat. Like, I mean, I know that there are stories of cats who are just like so desperate to find food or just look like they're, dude, Nathan is just like, he will find his way into everything. Every morning I wake up and I'm scared he got into something that I didn't realize he got into. He tries to eat everything that even remotely looks like food. He has found food that I have wrapped in plastic bags and stuffed into a cubby hole and like, you know, blocked stuff in front of it, and he'll still get into it. Like, dude, I legit don't know what's wrong with him. Like, he eats, he just like, he is just insane. And I don't know what it is. It's not like I don't feed him. You know? It's so weird. Okay. Good girl, Jasmine. Good girl, Jasmine. Good girl. Oh, yeah. Good girl. Good sweet girl. See, Nathan's done already. He for those of you who have not seen this before, he sits on the corner and all he does is wait for Jasmine to finish, and whatever she doesn't eat, he eats. Even if she eats everything, he just runs down and licks the bowl clean. And then he runs back to his bowl because he's like, wait, there maybe more food showed up magically. I seriously, I have never seen, well, I haven't owned cats before, but I just feel like, I mean, Mike has, Olaf has, and he says that he's never seen a cat as crazy as Nathan. One time I bought dry food and I put it down and walked into the other room because I needed to take care of something. And I came out like, seriously, like not even 10 minutes later. Like it was seriously, I walked in and walked out. The bag's already on the ground. He's already ripped into it, a big old hole, and he's already chewing into it. And I was just like, my God, like, Nathan. So he just gets into everything. I have thrown stuff away into the trash, and he has literally knocked over my, like, this trash can, this tall trash can. Like, I've thrown stuff in there, and he's knocked it over and got food out of it. And it's just like, man. And the thing about it is, like, Jasmine doesn't do any of this. She does none of this. So I don't know what it is about Nathan that makes him so like he acts like I literally don't feed him ever. Goofy cat. Okay, let's get back and finish the stream here, shall we? All right. Okay, hang on a second here. Seriously, that cat is insane. That cat is insane. And I am so confused by it. I'm so confused by it, honestly. So, oh, man. I didn't mention about it going 5 million, but there's really not much to say about it, to be honest with you. So I'm probably not going to mention it too much over here. But we'll just move on to this Invincible topic over here. Okay. Okay, see, Case Money at least, says that, yeah, for sure. Is that air fryer grill? No, I thought my air fryer grill is in current clean status, but probably is, honestly, so... let me think to myself. What time was that? It's at 2 p.m. Okay, yeah, 2 p.m. Okay, yeah, then I can. All right, let's do this. Dude, I mean, does anybody else have a cat? Has anybody else ever experienced that with their cat? Has anybody ever experienced a cat that's like, and it's not even just like he's a good hunter and he's like, I found it. Like there is a distinct desperation in the way that he just is like, I need food. Like the way he does it too, because like, a lot of times when he finds food that he's not supposed to get into, and I don't know it, like, he's already scared. Like, because I've yelled at him a bunch, which is bad, but it's just, I can't stop myself sometimes. Because, like I said, I have a bad temper problem. But, like, you know, like, he'll, like he knows I'm going to see it. And he knows he did something wrong. And he's already kind of like scared before I see it. So sometimes I walk upstairs to feed my cat, and then he's already kind of like, oh shit. And I'm like, oh God, what did you get into this time? And I walk over to the kitchen, and like I see just everything all over the floor. And I'm like, oh my God, you know. But yeah, Nathan goes into every bag, gets through every bag. Like I said, I have a bag of like little powdered donuts, right? Like those little Hostess powdered donuts. and I put it in another plastic bag. I wrapped it up. I shoved it into a cubby hole, put things in front of the cubby hole. And a couple of days ago, I woke up and saw that my plastic bag was just sitting there on the floor. And I was like, I don't remember put this. I lift it, and like literally my bag of little powdered donuts is ripped open. And like seriously, like there were like every donut in there had a bite taken out of it. Like he chewed on like every single donut. Like it wasn't even just like he ate 1 or 2 donuts. Like he ate like a chunk out of every single donut in that bag. And I was just like, what the hell? Like, how did you even find this? I mean, I was just like, Jesus Christ. That cat, I swear to God. And it's like, I swear to God, he's going to get in something that he's not supposed to eat one of these days. I'm sure that powdered donuts are going to like completely destroy his metabolism or something, because it's just way too much sugar for a cat. But like, it's just, dude, I don't know. Like, he would be one of those cats that if I just had the giant tub of dry food, I feel like he would eat forever. I really feel like he was doing that. So, that he would do that. It's absolutely insane. Like, Nathan is just crazy. So, yeah, exercise. Right. Nathan exercises all the time. Oh, man. Anyways, let's talk about something else here. Let's do this. Hello, everybody. Welcome to It Was Tuesday. I am James Chen, aka Jay Chenzor, the host. And we are going to be talking about some of the things that were announced in the past couple of weeks that have just been like, what the heck? Invincible Versus is a new fighting game that has been announced. Being created by a large chunk of the team that created the original Killer Instinct remake. If you remember, they were Iron Galaxy at the time, and then after season 1, they were taken off that project. It was handed over to, it was Double Helix, right? They were originally Double Helix, and after the first season, then it was moved over to Iron Galaxy, and they took over from that point forward. But the original team that designed season 1 is now, a large portion of them are designing this Invincible fighting game over here. And while obviously a surprise to a lot of people, I can actually finally talk about the fact that I have had a chance to already play the game. You've probably seen a lot of content creators out there saying that they've had a chance to get early hands-on on the game. And I was fortunate enough to be one of them. So I've been able to play the game a couple of times, even before it was announced this past weekend at Summer Games Fest. And so, I've had a chance to play this, but, one of the things that I've been seeing a lot of people talking about this. I have seen a lot of opinions on things that are happening with the game. I see a lot of people like making just so many assumptions being thrown around, etc., etc. I don't even want to talk about like half the mechanics in the game, because it needs to be said that this game is pre-alpha. So that means it's not even in beta form, right? And beta is like when you're like actually kind of like mostly done, but things may change. The game is not, what did my forehead actually show up in one of them? That's actually funny. But again, like this game is pre-alpha, right? When they asked for our feedback and we started like trying to give them a lot of feedback on a lot of stuff, they literally said nothing's off the table. They're like, yeah, give us all the feedback. Nothing is established yet. Like, we can change a lot of stuff. So, yeah, just let us know. And, they're definitely, like, when I was talking to them about, like, the special move inputs, so it's come out already that, the game is a single button special moves, just like 2X KO, like Battle for the Grid, for Power Rangers, etc., etc. And, I asked them, I was like, hey, would you guys be against turning the game into motions? And they're like, no. Like everything is on the table, basically, right? So it's single inputs right now, but lots of things can change, man. So like all these people already being like, oh my God, I'm not gonna play this game because blah. Like, dude, calm down. Calm down, bro. Calm down, bro. So yeah, right now, Tony Polanco, it's impossible to say. But it has a lot of Marvel in its DNA. So if that's the case, it'll probably be more of a heart and body game, right? It's going to be definitely more of those. And to be fair, the execution in the game isn't like super crazy, right? Marvel definitely has just like, you know, you got to learn to tiger knee your DPs and like all this crazy stuff in there. So, you know, right now, you know, like I wouldn't say it's necessarily an extreme body type game, especially because a lot of the special moves are single inputs right now. So the execution in there isn't particularly strong. And also keep in mind that the 2 times that I've played the game, the build has been extremely different. Extremely different, right? Because the first time I played it, like, was it a body game? Not really, because like everything was like really loopable, right? Like, so you could just do the same sequence like 5 times in a row kind of thing. And then the next time I played it, it was absolutely not like that, right? So if I tried to do any sequence that was repeated, like the combo would just end almost instantaneously, right? So a lot of people have read that there is a combo meter system that it fills up as you do damage, and once it fills up, the opponent falls out of the combo. And people are like, that's so stupid, blah, 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 and everything. Keep in mind, again, these are the same guys that made the original Killer Instinct, right? So if you remember, there was a combo meter in the original Killer Instinct as well. So, this is one of the things that I really want to talk about this game and what they are trying to do to differentiate it from a lot of other tag fighting games, right? A lot of tag fighting games are just like, okay, craziness, you know, craziness kind of thing. But what they're trying to do is put a little bit of that Killer Instinct into the Invincible fighting game, right? So, what was Killer Instinct, right? You had the braking system. So, you know, if it was a heavy, you could break it with a medium. If it was a medium, you could use the light breaker. If it was a light, you could do the heavy breaker. Or if it was the other way around, I can't remember. But the game was about, you know, this kind of mind game as you're getting comboed. And so what they're doing in this game is they're doing something very, very similarly, but they're using the tag system to facilitate this. Basically, there is a lot of mechanics that are put into this game designed for this little bit of mind game as you're doing the combo, right? So there's a lot of ways to manipulate the combo meter. Yeah, so it does prevent infinites, but again, the way that it works, and even in one of the articles said that, you know, if you do a combo with the character, tagging into the other character to another character kind of resets the combo gauge, right? So if it's filling up and it's almost full and the next hit you're using is going to blow your combo, you can tag the other guy in there and then it will drop down a little bit and the character can continue the combo a little bit longer, right? I mean, every fighting game is going to have damage scaling, right? But yeah, so in other words, there's ways to manipulate this combo meter. There is also a mechanic in the game that while you are being comboed, if you press certain buttons and they call their tag, you blow that tag up. I can't remember exactly. I'm pretty sure like you hit the tag and they go back out and you end the combo. So in other words, if the opponent is comboing you in an obvious route and they are about to run out of combo meter and you know they're gonna switch to their character, you can call that out by using the mechanic that as soon as you activate it, if they switch, you actually just blow them up. You get out of the combo for that. And it's basically a combo breaker. It's like the KI combo breaker system in this game. Also, if your assist is available, you can pretty much always call them in for a combo breaker, like actually as a burst mechanic, right? So as soon as I hit you, you can just call your assist, burst, and you knock them away. And then as long as you can stall long enough and the cooldown on your assist comes back up, you can do it again. And you have 2 assists. So like the first 2 combos you get hit by, you can be like burst, right? And then the second one burst. But again, you can't call your assist. So it's managing that kind of system over there. Now, here's the cool thing about that, though, is that if you think your opponent is going to burst, you can actually activate a super, and supers are invincible to the bursts. And so, like, if you hit somebody and you know they burst right away, you just make your character do their super, and they come in, and now you hit both characters, and you have a happy birthday, and you get to beat them both up, right? So, like, they're trying to implement a lot of that killer instinct. You know, while you're getting comboed, you're not done playing the game, right? You're not done playing the game. You're still playing mind games during that whole entire sequence. And I think that's really cool. And I think that's really, and so in my opinion, a problem fighting games have is guaranteed long combos. Tekken is bad for that. Well, Tekken 8 in particular, right? So Tekken 8, because of the heat system, it's more egregious than ever. Before they had the bounds or the spirals and like little extra things that keep the combos going. Tekken has never really been about super long combos, but you know, between Tekken Tag, I think it was a Tekken 6, Tekken Tag, Tekken 7, and Tekken 8, it just keeps getting more and more. What title are you referring to, Cyril the Hero? Which one are you talking about? So, the blood. Yeah. So this game is not for the faint of heart. This game is very violent. As far as I have never watched Invincible, right? So I cannot tell you how violent the cartoon or the comics are, but I have heard that they are very violent. And so the game is following suit. There is a lot of very gruesome things. And when characters lose, especially if you happen to hit them with a super or special moves, like, they will explode. Like, people will, like, you can punch someone's head and it will just explode and the character is done, right? Invincible. Yeah. I'm literally talking about Invincible Versus here. Do you think it might appeal to MK players? Given how they reacted to MK1, I don't know. Because a lot of the Mortal Kombat players didn't like MK1 because they didn't like assists, right? So I'm not sure. Okay, so it's just one of those. It's like, oh, we're gonna do superheroes, but everything's ultra violent. Yeah. But again, look, the game is super early. It is very violent, and so that is something that you're going to have to contend with if you are not a fan of violence. But also, like, if you're just a fan of Invincible, you're already past that. What it sounds like, right? If you're just a person that's like, oh, this looks really interesting with the tag mechanics and I want to play it, obviously then if you're against the violence, it's going to be difficult, right? And again, you don't have to play it, right? Like, it's just one of those things, right? I want to say that, people are going to ask me, James, did you think it was fun? How did you like it? Blah, blah, blah. So I have to preface anything that I say about the way that this game plays with, I suck at tag games. I'm really, really, really bad at tag games, okay? Like, when I first started messing with it, like, I was basically playing one-on-one fighter. And then I fought someone who actually plays tag fighters, and I would block things, and then the tag fighter would come and lock me down, and then he would keep attacking me, and I was like, oh shit, that's right. I'm sorry. Oh, sure, that's right. You can do that, right? So like, I'm just extraordinarily bad at tag fighters. So I was probably not playing the game right at all, and I was probably not doing everything that I wanted to. But what I'm gonna say about the game is it felt like a pre-alpha game. It literally felt like a pre-alpha game. There was a lot of things in there that I was like, should that be happening? And they're like, oh yeah, this character's not done yet, right? Like, there was a character that had a super that was like a command throw, and it hit me on block, right? And like, you just do it, cancel and do it, it grabs on block. And they were like, yeah, that's not supposed to happen. You know, like, so like, it was clearly very early on. And so like, everybody's sitting here and taking what these people are saying in all these articles and all this stuff, you know, it's just like time to get good at tag fighters, right, Chisel? I don't know if I have a choice anymore. But again, like, people coming to conclusions based off of what they're reading from articles about people who have actually played this, like I just want to establish very early on that a lot still is left to change, right? I can tell you right now that I personally think that there's too many buttons for the game, right? And, you know, I was talking about that whole thing with, you know, I don't like single button special moves because it forces too many buttons. And this game was definitely on my mind in that situation. But, you know, the crazy thing is, like, a lot of people have been talking with them, like, how can we reduce the number of buttons? And they're like, yeah, we're thinking about that all the time. You know, again, like, all this stuff is in flux, right? So, like, don't just go and, like, read these articles and see what they say and just be like, yo, it's this, forget it. I was day one buy now. I will never touch this game. And it's just like, like, give these guys a chance, man. Like, seriously. Again, the game that I played was pre-alpha. Hunter x Hunter was in beta, right? Beta's already 2 giant milestones. If you know anything about software development, the difference between alpha and beta are like huge milestones, right? It's not just like, we're in alpha, we're in beta. Like, you have to qualify so many things to even be allowed for your company to declare beta, right? Like, you take all these tests and everything like that, and it's like, did it pass everything? Well, it's like, if it doesn't pass, like, you know, 80%, then it can't be beta. Like, alpha and beta are huge deals here. And again, this game is in pre-alpha. So if you know anything about software development, that means it is super early still in the game. Now, again, I have no stake in this, right? They're not paying me to say any of this kind of stuff like this. I'm just telling you, as a person who used to work in the software industry, chill. Like, chill, right? Again, someone's like, oh my God, you're always like such a Capcom shill, whatever. Like, and I told them, I was like, that is definitively not true. I am an every fighting game shill. I'm always trying to stick up for as many fighting games as I can. And what I played, like I said, I wasn't playing it right, but I thought there was a lot of potential there, a lot of cool concepts, and I really like the idea of adding that kind of KI combo system to the game, right? It's not going to be as egregious as KI, because KI was just like, here's a chance to break, here's a chance to break, here's a chance to break, here's a chance to break. Like, this game is designed in a way that, like, you know, from one end, they can easily burst the combo and the opponent can call that out. And then from the other side, the person doing the combo can easily extend the combo by tagging in, but you can call that out and stop the combo. Like, there's just a lot of like little interesting interplay in that method, and that's never existed in these tag fighters. Most of the time, these tag fighters are just, you get hit, you watch, right? Like, even games with burst, most of the games with burst have been one-on-one, right? Is there even a tag fighter that has a burst? TVC. TVC had burst, right? So there was definitely TVC. Again, I super love the way that bursts worked in MVCI, which was call the other guy in to save you, which let them call in their guy, and then you could have literally two guys fighting while the other two are finishing their combos at the top, you know, kind of a thing. Skullgirls does have it, but that's more of an infinite prevention system thing. But you are right, though. Skullgirls definitely... BB Tag, yeah, that's right. BB Tag counts as well, so... yeah, but Skullgirls was more the infinite prevention system, right? If you knew how to create your combo properly, there was no point in which they could burst at all, right? It was just a way to prevent you from from the game accidentally having infinites everywhere. So, but yeah, I kind of feel like big IP fighters have lost the casual audience trying to balance around combo systems. I kind of rather see a modern take on short, easy, high damage combo systems while still flashy, of course. Yeah, it's interesting because the thing about it is I get what combos are for, because combos are the only thing that you can truly practice yourself, obviously, right? An obvious way to practice yourself. And so, you know, people are always obsessed with those KOF trials and things like that because, you know, that is the easiest way to play the fighting game without playing the fighting game, is learning how to do cool combos. And it makes people feel good when they can land the combo in an actual fight, right? It is the one thing that you can practice, train, and clearly see results. But like, if you're actually not well versed in fighting games, you won't know to practice mix-ups, setups, how to counter mix-ups, etc., and you can't practice mind games, right? That only works against people. And so combos are kind of essential to fighting games to give people who are not good at fighting games a sense that, you know, they're accomplishing something, that they're getting stronger, etc., and it feels good when you land them in a match. Again, like I said, I don't like parries, but I understand why parries are so awesome and why they make Third Strike such a beloved fighting game, right? Because it feels like, oh, that's so cool because you have this super high technical thing that lets you survive and blah, blah, blah. Even though, like, a lot of parries are accidental, let's be honest, and there's just a shit ton of option selecting going on. You know, it's like, but I get it. I get why it's so exciting. It's why Hayao and of course Daigo doing the Moment 37 are so crazy, because it's pitched as very difficult. And so when you see someone pull that off, all you need to see is someone going ping, 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 and you're like, oh my God, because you know it's difficult, right? And that's kind of the same thing as combos, right? The first highlight in Street Fighter V was Chris G doing Guile's Sonic Boom Loop on Blockbuster John on an online match, right? And then all these Monat combos kept going viral, right? Like, people like combos. Daigo doing the combo with Evil Ryu to Momochi was one of the most viral things that ever happened in Street Fighter IV, right? People like to see that kind of stuff. So as long as the combos are difficult, right? You know, because if everybody can do it, then it's not a point. But as long as the combos are difficult, they do help with the popularity of the game. So it's a very, very, very difficult tightrope for developers to walk, to be honest with you. It's really hard to find that right balance, you know? And then, of course, we're all fighting in that whole thing of, like, should combos be hard to do, or should they be easier? And people are like, I hate having combos because they're, like, gatekeeping me from doing things. And then other people are like, easy combos kill individuality and all this stuff. And it's just, like I said, it's like, it's kind of a nightmare for fighting game creators, to be honest with you. It is really hard to make a fighting game for this reason, which is why, like I said earlier when I was talking about Viper, like, it's and Street Fighter 4, you know, sometimes it's just good to make characters satisfy those different aspects of fighting games, right? Just put in a character with ridiculous execution. I mean, Guile's loops, honestly, in Street Fighter 6 are actually, like, some of them are really hard to do. And so, you know, it's cool to see that, right? Even Akuma's new optimized Tatsu path is very high execution. So, like, people like to see that kind of stuff. They like to see top players doing things that they can't do. You know, that is definitely an aspect of watching competitive play. That's why you go, oh my God, when, you know, Roger Federer used to rip one down the line and just like and you're just like, holy crap, how does he like do that, right? Like, that is the appeal of watching high-level competition. You like seeing, you know, Stephen Curry make these ridiculously long shots, or Caitlin Clark, right? Like Caitlin Clark shooting from the logo, like, and just like making these threes is a very strong appeal for people to watch, because you like watching people do things that are beyond what you think you can do. The hard part is that it's completely anti to the people trying to learn unless you pitch it properly. Again, the problem with fighting games is that it is a video game and it is not presented as this is hard. And you still see, like, when the Invincible announcement came out on Twitter, a whole bunch of people were like, I'm so mad this is a fighting game because fighting games are boring. They're just button mashing. I would like something that actually has like strategy and technique. And, you know, as a fighting game player, you read that and you're just like, oh, right? So, like I've always said, the best thing that ever happened to StarCraft or to MOBAs is actions per minute, APM. Look at their APM. He has this APM. Look at that APM. And it changed the discourse of how those games are talked about. And we don't have that in fighting games. We have not been able to say, like, here's the thing that makes us cool, because sometimes the most amazing thing we did was not press a button, right? Like, literally, like, not falling for a shimmy is, like, amazing, right? And so if you take away all the crazy combos, we don't have that anymore. That was our easiest sell on the skill level of our... What are you doing, Nathan? Are you trying to get in on something? Okay. Ugh. Anyway, it was the easiest sell on that skill level aspect. And so, like, combos are actually really important to fighting games in a weird way. And not only that, but they also create the drama, the human tension, right? If all combos are easy and foregone conclusions, as soon as they land the first hit, it's not interesting anymore. It's like if somebody is open in a basketball game, if there's nobody in front of them, they're guaranteed to make the basket every time. You know, what fun is that, right? And so if you have difficult combos, and the guy needs to land that difficult combo to win, does he have the mental fortitude to have that execution in a do-or-die situation? That's exciting. I like it when a person has the ability to drop a combo. I don't like it that, you know, a lot of times with a lot of modern fighting games, you're just like, oh, if he doesn't drop this combo, he wins. Like, it's a different conversation than, like, can he pull this off, right? Like, that to me feels a little bit more like sports, right? That's what sports is. Can he do it? And so instead of seeing it as he will do this, the norm is he does this, and the unusual thing is the mistake, the norm is this is hard, and the unusual is that he accomplishes it, which is great, and it presents the situation very differently, right? So again, I think combos and execution are really important for fighting games. Again, that's just how I stand. I know a lot of people disagree on that, but people know that I love execution. But that's kind of explaining why I like that, right? It's why I enjoy that aspect of fighting games, because it requires execution, but it doesn't require you to be an athlete, right? It's the perfect merger between mind games and some sort of physical requirement, and I like that. So, oh, did they say there was an open world Invincible game said to be in development? Oh, I see. Yeah, they probably thought that that's what it was. Yeah, it was super awesome that they got Kenny Omega for the trailer. But I think he might be really far behind. Anyways, so that's what I've got for the Invincible stuff. I kind of went on a tangent there. Again, very early. They're open to a lot of things, and I mean, like, a lot of us have been able to keep sending feedback to them and just being like, hey, and like I said, they had me mess with the game a little bit at Combo Breaker, so I was able to see how it changed, and I was like, oh, that's good. Oh, that's nice. I like that. Oh, that's cool. You know, but you still haven't implemented this, and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna try to put that in later, and you know, it's still early. There's still so much more for this game to go through. So don't take anything that's ever been written in these articles right now and just treat it as gospel and automatically to determine whether you're gonna buy this game or not. It's still super early. It's still super early. Well, I mean, it's the roster, but like, who do we even know is in the game? Like, clearly there's gonna be more characters added in, right? Like, I mean, I would just assume so. I would just assume they would add a lot more characters. So, you know, just be patient, see what comes in. Really? Wait, Invincible is in the same universe as Spawn? I actually had no idea. I actually had no idea. Oh, man. Dude, Ranger X, I do lots of different shows. Come on, man. The other show just isn't what you wanted to know. The other show is literally about, like, us. Like, we are the main things about that show, and we talk about SNK games and stuff like that, so it's not for you. Don't watch it. I do lots of different things here. I'm sorry that one wasn't for you. Doesn't make it ass, dude. Come on. Like, don't be like that, dude. Don't be like that. Seriously. That's crazy that it's in the same universe. I had no idea. But yeah, well, yeah, because they were literally talking about their Japan trip that I was not on, where he proposed to her and had all these crazy stories to tell, and a lot of the people who have been watching the show for a long time care. So again, it wasn't for you. That's just it. So, Jesus, like, learn that things are not always going to be catered for you individually, right? Like, different people are going to talk about different things, and sometimes it works for some people and it might not be for you. Doesn't make it bad. So, oh, what? Why is it? Whoa, what happened to the camera? Why is the camera dead? Whoa, what happened? Anyways, so yeah, that's all I have to say about Invincible Versus. So, like I said, it's very early on. Still a long way to go. A lot of cool things to come for that game, I'm sure. And I'm sure, like, in a few months, it's probably going to be completely different than what I have played. So, can't wait to see how it goes. So, that's it for Invincible Versus here. Thank you guys for tuning in. And again, the day that this podcast graced your ears was Nathan is pushing my hand again. Was the most important. I fed you. Oh, this is Nathan's, like, I'm very grateful headbutts right here. I want to show it to you, but I don't know why my camera has frozen here. What if I do this and I go whoop, and then I come back to over here? It's gone. It's just not even in the list anymore. What the hell? What the heck happened? What? Oh, come on. Okay. It's kind of bad. Dude, I don't know what happened to the camera. I'm sorry. I'm trying to give you views of Nathan being cuddly and cute here, but I'm unable to do so. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. And the day that this podcast graced your ears was the most important day of your life. But for me,
It was Tuesday.
again, nobody go anywhere. I have one more segment. To do over here. This one, will be very short. Let's just do this very short over here. I say that and it will last like 10 hours. All right, let's do this. All right. Actually, I wonder if I can fix this camera here. Let's see. This camera is coming over here. Let's see. Coming over here. It's this one. Okay. See if that fixed it. Huh. Weird. Oh, it worked. There it is. Ah, okay. Cool. There we go. This is, yeah. Oh, I'm about to knock things over. Hang on a second. Where you going, Nathan? Where are you going, Nathan? I was going to move the camera over to you. Hi. Dude. Is that Soul Calibur 2 available on only Switch 2, or is it going to be on Switch 1 as well? I don't have a Switch 2 yet. I heard somebody talk about, does James have a Switch 2? No, I do not. I do not have a Switch 2. I didn't want to bother trying, and it's too expensive. I can't afford a Switch 2 right now, so that's the situation for me. Oh. Oh, look at you. Oh, look at you, kitty. Oh, you're so happy. Holy crap, you're so happy. Look at you. Oh, those were the old KOF sodas that came out at one point in time. That for the synchronized show that Mike and Kitty bought like all the flavors and we got to try them all. So I just have 3 of them left over just kind of for keeping it, for souvenirs. Oh, back down. Oh. So yeah, that is literally on that soda can over there. Look at the foot come up. Oh my God. Oh, look at the foot in the air. Jesus. What a cat. And this is why I can't get mad at this cat for getting into all the food and hawking hairballs all over my carpet. Because look at this guy. How do you stay mad at this, dude? Like, he is just so cute. You're so cute. Oh, you tried to avoid my kisses. He's not as open to kisses as Jasmine is. Nathan always tries to dodge me kissing him. Oh, there you go. Mwah. You can't dodge this one. Mwah. Hi, kitty. Yeah, good boy. Mwah. Good boy. Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh. Hi. Right? I mean, look, this is not officially part of the show. So, again, please nobody mention anything. Please nobody say anything. But, I mean, oh, yeah. I mean, if so far that leak hasn't been too wrong, let's just put it that way. That's all I'm going to say. That leak hasn't been too wrong. So that's all I'll say. All right, Nathan is walking away. So let's just do this last section here. Because I'm not sure what to say about this last section. I really don't know what to say about it, honestly. So let's just, where the hell did my mouse go? There, what? Hello? Is it stuck over there? Did it get stuck over there? Where's my mouse? Oh yeah, my battery's died. That's a problem. That's a problem. Okay, okay. Not saying anything, nothing number. Not saying anything. You'll have to go and watch the archives. All right, where am I now? Okay, let's see if this works. Come on, this is supposed to work. Come on, come on, come on. Why isn't this working? Oh, shoot. Okay, What, my keyboard isn't even working? What the hell? What the hell happened? Oh, because if my keyboard's over there? No, it shouldn't be. All right, let's do this here really quick. So cut the headlights, keep rolling to the sun. We'll fight the good fight when tomorrow has come. And it's easy, and we live free, and until the light, until the light. Okay, let's do that. Has that given me command back yet? Why are you not, dude? Seriously, what the hell? What the hell? Every time my mouse runs out of batteries, this happens. It's crazy. I thought I fixed it by doing something, but apparently that's not working. Let me try something really quick. Dude, did my keyboard shortcuts just like stop working or something? Like I literally created keyboard shortcuts so that I wouldn't run into this problem anymore, and it fixed it before. It's just that I have a virtual KVM and it just thinks that it's on the other computer right now. So it's not accepting any of my keyboard inputs or any of my mouse inputs because it thinks it's on the other machine, but it is not. And there was a keyboard shortcut that I installed that made it so that I would get it back to this regardless of where it thought it was. But I don't know why it's not working. I could have swore I fixed it in a different way that worked. Okay, you know what? Let's do this. Yeah, let's do this. stop this. We'll come over here. We're going to kill barrier like this. Yep, that's gone now. Okay. We'll come back here. Now it's dead, right? Should be dead. Come on. Ugh. God, I know I fixed this, so this doesn't happen anymore. I wonder if I plug in a second keyboard, will that keyboard actually let me use it? Apparently not. This is actually maddening because I specifically set something up so that this wouldn't happen again. Ugh. How do you solve this? How do you actually solve this? Like, this program is just basically eating all the inputs and shooting it into what it thinks is the other computer, but it is not. And like I said, I literally created this shortcut so that it would not be like this anymore. Like I said, I went through all the settings. I can't tinker with it because I can't do anything to this computer at all. You know what I should set up? Oh, that'd be interesting. I wonder if that would work. Huh. I'll have to try an alternate solution, but I'm trying to figure out what the best way to do this is. And people wonder why I don't trust PCs for gaming, dude. Like, I hate this shit. Like, again, the biggest problem is that I used to help develop software. So I know how broken and messed up all software is. So it's just like, ugh. How do I fix this? Well, actually, is my mouse even alive? What the fuck? Yeah, I was a programmer a long time ago. Long time ago in another era. Bruh. Come on, dude. What the hell? Why did this pop up? Holy crap! Dude, shit is just going crazy right now. I'm like, oh my god. How do I stop this? I don't understand. Should be no instance of barrier running on this machine anymore. What the hell was that? Oh, that's what I wanted. Okay. Barrier. Okay. Wait. Barrier still running somewhere? What? Okay. Barrier is dead. I should have freed this up here. Oh my god, I don't know. This happened to me before another time, and while I was streaming, and I couldn't fix it then either. I had to reboot the PC. Like, I literally just had to reboot it. Is there a way I can... Oh my god. Well, so the problem is, like, I even plugged in a second keyboard, but the program, the virtual, the digital KVM thinks that I have moved the mouse onto the other machine, and so it's not accepting any mouse or keyboard inputs because it thinks the focus is on the other machine. Now, the way you fix that is that you move it back, but the problem is I can't do that because the mouse is not on the other machine. Like, it's not actually there. And so now it's just like in this limbo state. I created a keyboard shortcut that if I hit it, it always brings the focus back to this PC, but the keyboard shortcut is not working. And I don't know why it's not working, because I set it up specifically to do this so that I wouldn't run into this problem anymore. It's not the monitor. It can't do anything about the monitor. That's the thing. It's literally the PC. I mean, I guess I could just shut this PC off and see what happens. But I kind of remember trying that last time and it didn't work. So if this thing is trying to ping the other machine constantly, I would love for it to realize that it can't ping the other machine and give up. Actually, that's an interesting one. Let me try this, actually. Ugh.